What, are you eating on something?
No. That was me yawning.
Stop moving. Just hold still. There we go. Oh, that'll work.
Are you just holding on the stick?
No, I just literally got out of my orbiter. Or got out of my, went into my operator.
So yeah, welcome to Y.A.R.P episode 103. We're doing more of Invincible.
We're doing the next 3 episodes of season 2 of Invincible. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. We'll head back to your order and let's get it started. But yeah, uh, so the last time we covered the first 3 episodes. They're pretty solid. These 3 episodes started with a bit of a bang. Um, how did y'all feel about seeing the famous sad boy montage?
The, I like it.
was,
A lot of people were like, "Oh no, they're trying to make us feel sad for." Like, no, they're just acknowledging that this character's going through some shit. He has to
Really?
figure shit out. The montage in the comic was actually longer, where you actually see him like go to various planets as his beard gets a bit longer, and he's like just contemplating shit.
Mm-hmm.
wasn't his original motivation in the comics for going to, like, why he ended up stopping at that place was, because if he conquered that planet instead, the Viltrumite Empire would forgive him for what happened on Earth.
No.
There is an aspect to that, but it is it's fleshed out later. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, for reasons that we're not going to touch on yet, that he would understand that that wouldn't get that effect. He was doing other shit and he kind of landed there, and it gave him a sense of purpose when he just desperately needed any kind of sense of purpose. That's pretty much exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, like I said, you could say the one thing the comics, but the show handles it pretty well. But it's pretty just straightforward. It's like he just happens to be helping somebody because intrinsically that's something he kind of wants to do, but doesn't really acknowledge it. It's something he's grown accustomed to, and we flesh that out a little bit more as the episode progresses. I mean, I guess we could talk about that now. Is that like, even though he tries his best, like even in the final fight, with Invincible in season 1, he does get relatively like hesitant about everything. Like there's a point where he says your training begins now, and then punches him across a continent, and then like before going after him, he sighs as if trying to get himself jazzed, like trying to get himself amped up to get to what he has to do, even though he doesn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I almost want to say, like, does anyone want to start with like the notes they made over the 3 episodes? Then we'll just go.
Well, sorry, did you want to start?
Well, okay. Where's my first notes? We just pick up on Bulk World. Oh, first thing I wrote down was literally just a very minor animation note, where just in watching Mark take off into flight and then watching Omni-Man follow him, you immediately just see visually like a difference in their strength. Like the way it looks and the way it sounds when one of them takes off. I was like, oh, one of these has more weight than the other when they become weightless.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was like that kind of picks up from something I said in the last recording we did about how the animation, it's never really been bad, but little details like that are always things that I always appreciate.
Mm-hmm. There's also the bit where Mark is staring down Omni Man the first time he sees him, and like there's the little bits where he's like clenching his fists, and you see Omni Man also clenching his fist, but you could tell it's done with a little bit of hesitation because he doesn't want to.
Oh yeah, both of them knew that like there was good odds that was going to be hands.
That there was going to be another punch up, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And which is really beautiful because it doesn't end with that. It just ends with Mark just embracing his father.
Yeah, it's a hug.
He misses his dad, and like, even though his dad like completely horribly abused him, there is still that love there for the fatherly figure. Yeah. And in his own fucked up way, Omni-Man does love his son.
You beat your son to a bloody pulp once, and it's the only thing he thinks of.
It's like you shove your whole son through an entire subway car of people at full speed, and suddenly he's got issues. Oh, fucking get over it, dude.
Back in my day,
that was father... in the past. Get the fuck over
it. That was a week ago.
I do appreciate that there was no like forgiveness. There was just an acknowledgement that it's not as simple as you are evil to me now.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's
weirder
why
than that.
I
It's more
appreciate a lot
complicated
of
than
the
that.
fuck yous from Mark.
Yeah, there's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
there's a lot of fuck yous. How dare you ask me to help these fucking people, you piece of
You
shit.
don't get to
But
call me that anymore.
but also, what did they need? Like, there's still the need to want to help.
He-
They're the want to
yeah, his
save
need
people,
to be a hero.
and it's
Yeah.
like it's still there, even though he is just racked with fucking anger and resentment to the man who's asking him for help to save lives. It's great. It's good fucking shit. It's great character work. It's great character work in like the first couple seconds of this fucking episode. And
Yeah.
well, the first couple seconds of the episode, actually, sorry, it's a bit wrong to say. The first couple episodes are Omni Man actually being suicidal. like we're not gonna front. He was gonna throw himself into the black hole, like just straight up.
Yeah,
He was
if
going to
that
kill
shit
himself.
hadn't come
Going to
along,
kill
he would have killed.
himself.
Yeah, if that shit didn't come along, he would have killed himself.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really heavy, and there's not a single piece of spoken dialogue. You just see the hurt and like thing, the not caring about the way he looks. This has been a long time of him just drifting in space. Like just with a couple of frames, you get so much storytelling without a single spoken word of dialogue. And yeah, I love it. And yeah, the montage has been shared like over and over to everybody who's ever seen it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really effective.
It's interesting the choices they've picked for the licensed music. It's just a key moment. Not even key moment. Like a thing I've been paying attention to a lot more with movies is like when is the licensed music like quote unquote justified? Because like it was things like Guardians of the Galaxy where the licensed music was very diegetic because it was the awesome mix. Like it was given to Star-Lord's mother.
And here's the thing. I usually don't care for licensed music. I really prefer it when they do their own music.
Yeah.
However, I feel like if it's done effectively, it's okay. Like with Suicide Squad, it's terrible because it's just random playlists thrown together. Like, why did Deadshot have the House of Rising Sun playing when we just see him?
Kind of same with the Mario movie. Why did they play Thunderstruck when they're making the carts or like
it's odd choices, but here, however, it feels very like purposeful. It feels like trying to set the tone perfectly for it. And whereas I do still find this lazier than actually making music, it can be done effectively. Even though it's lazy.
But is it lazier or is it just a choice? Because
Well,
they had the team, they had the budget,
Yeah.
they could have made music if they wanted to, but they chose to do this.
I
Just on rip, I would never assume that the choice was made out of laziness.
I wouldn't
No,
say
yeah,
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say the choice is made out of laziness, but we can agree that it takes less effort for this than it does for actually making music. Can we say that?
Or
Yeah,
it's
it's
that's
part of the musicians,
and then that's
maybe,
why,
but for the studio
yeah.
as a whole, not necessarily.
and that's why
enough.
In fact,
normally
it
that's
often
why
could cost more.
that's why I argue
Yeah, it's
the
true. It can.
That's why I argue like if you're gonna do licensed music, try to your best to find a way to make it diegetic. It's why like I recently was playing like the Saboteur.
Oh, sure.
There's a ton of like licensed old like 1930s and 40s music, and when it starts playing, it's always through the car radios.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it plays as if it's on a radio and then just becomes the song.
And to be fair, Invincible does do that quite a few times too. So
Yeah.
there is that as well. But in this particular scene, I feel like the music fits perfectly for the tone.
Yeah, like the impression I got is not that they wanted an easier way to get the right song. It's
Yeah.
that the people who made it believed this song was
Yeah,
right.
they chose that song specifically.
Yeah, it wasn't just the trend. Let music people recognize.
Like if you're gonna be lazy about it, you're just gonna rip like a fucking low quality
It's
version of All Around Me or from
Well,
Faces.
Well,
I-
it's actually
I-
hang on. It's actually interesting that Jake brings up. It's like, oh, the thing that people recognize, because Invincible has this weird habit of picking songs that are actually not well known, and that's something
Yeah,
I
that's
actually praise
something
about the licensed music.
I've been appreciating. Yeah, they could have
Shout out to DJ Shadow from fucking season 1, releasing bangers for the fucking things.
Because yeah, another thing instead of playing Sounds of Silence, they could have played like Johnny Cash's Hurt, for example. Like they specifically
And that
chose
would
that
have
song.
felt lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though that song is a
Perfectly
very
fitting.
good song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's perfectly
it's a
fucking fitting for what we're dealing with as well.
Yeah,
It
but
It's almost like
would have felt
lyrically
impersonal.
Yeah, I was gonna say lyrically, it actually probably fits really perfectly as well.
Oh
But
yeah,
Yeah, but they
especially if
chose.
he was thinking about Mark. Like
Yeah.
goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
Mark
They're
and
doing
Betty,
they're
there's a
doing a
lot of
good
stuff
job
going
with the
on.
music so far.
Hmm.
Also introducing a lot of unfamiliar artists.
That one
Also,
song they
shout.
played during the Omni-Man montage did sound like a Johnny Cash song.
It did sound like one, but I forgot the name of the fucking
It sounds like a
artist.
similar genre, but yeah, it sounds like a
Well,
song that
yeah,
Johnny
well,
Cash could have sung back in his day.
Hmm. So, we talked about, yeah, Nolan was definitely feeling suicidal as he stared at the black hole. Um, I I like seeing the adjustment and seeing how Mark reacts to a lot of the Thraxan type stuff. Nolan's new kid and wife,
well,
and how he's
don't just glance over that. That's
well.
kind of a
Well,
big
no,
part.
I was going to bring up how specifically how he's not okay with this.
Yeah, and
No, he's
we
It's
get one,
pretty fucking weird for him to deal with.
and then well, it's a lot of him to deal with. His dad's alive, cool. His dad's got a new wife. Oh shit, and his dad has a kid. Oh fuck, like it's all
Yeah,
slamming on Mark all at the same time.
and him jumping to conclusions is perfectly in character because he's just like, you just moved on.
You also lied to me the first thing we talked, like to get me here.
Also,
Like you
him
had the
saying
money.
like that kid is way over 6 months old.
yeah.
Like that's reasonable conclusion.
Yeah.
Incorrect, but reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And well, no, that'll be something we'll probably get into later.
No, go ahead.
Good.
Oh, I was gonna say the Thraxan like lifespans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Omni Man he's
Yeah,
kidnapped.
after the stuff happens, yeah, we see Noelzot after what seems to be about a month, because
And he's
remember
an
it
old
takes
man.
yeah, he's fucking ancient, and like yeah, even when they landed, he was like, oh, it must be a touch of dementia, because like he just fucking forgot about the lie he told him.
Yeah.
It's like it's rough. Like you get a lot of it doesn't really point too hard at it, but like it does like show all that stuff with all the Thraxans like from the second you see him.
Yeah. Okay, on the lifespan thing, there is one like, and this is pure me being a bit of a dick, nitpicky type of thing for me to pick up on, and it's only because this is like my third time seeing this episode. It's when Space Bug Wife is comforting Mark about like, oh, I can't leave. That so many people need my help. Blah 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 blah. She comforts him and she says like, our lives are short. We don't assign blame. That
Yeah,
is a
'cause-
comparative thing. Like until they met Viltrumites, they didn't really have a concept that their lives were short.
yeah.
Like
Well,
compared to an elf, our lives are short. We assign plenty of fucking blame.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That like it doesn't really change anything. And if she was speaking specifically about herself, it would make perfect sense because, as she says later on
Excuse
in
me.
that episode, I see things on a longer timescale than most of my people because of the life I've led, which is completely fair. That tracks.
Oh yeah.
It's just when she says that about like a general statement about her people and the way her people act, th- just tiny little things like, ooh, hang on, would that work that way?
Yeah, what?
I don't think
We
it
don't.
would.
It might.
It might.
That's the thing. Is
There's
like, to me, until they met a longer-lived species, they wouldn't have a concept their lives were short, so that wouldn't really change anything. At the same time, she could be doing it diagnostically. Hey, I've noticed that when talking to a Viltrumite, he talks about things like blame and accountability, and a specific person has to fucking stand for this. Whereas I've noticed my people don't do that. Maybe it's because our lives are short. It could be that way. You know, she could have like worked her way
Or
backwards to it.
or if
That's fair.
or if they had like a hive mind, it's like they didn't assign blame because it's like they're all part of one collective whole.
That
I don't.
but
if
but
they did, but we got
if they
no
don't, but they
indication that
don't.
did
That's what I was going to say. Like
Yeah, because they very much are individuals.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
they are
And yeah,
individuals.
as much as I love hive minds, it can make it difficult to like assign like different personalities of people within that. And it
Yeah, the
can lead
hive
to-
mind has to be like one character unto itself, like
Yeah.
the side
Mhm.
would.
Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, we got to get to the big bit. So the reason why Nolan lied to Mark, or had Neozalt lie to Mark, was because the Viltrumites are coming, and
Yes.
Omni-Man can't deal with them by himself. Just flat out, like they're coming, he can't do it. Well, I mean, he kind of does, but he
Eh,
needs help. He kind of does. But the which I find fascinating is that we finally get a real view. Like we see, obviously, like like them trying to take actions to prepare for it, but it comes too fast, and we immediately see Mark against a Viltrumite who is not his father.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, and he didn't
And
even hesitate. He immediately
like there is so much stuff that happens like in such a small amount of time that is really important for establishing like the universe. So Mark is like trying to monologue to him, be like, "You don't get a chance to go near them," kind of thing. Before he can even say some shit like that, he bitch slaps him and then goes immediately right to them. If he wanted to, he could have squashed them like no problem. And that's something important to know, that if that happened, Mark wouldn't have been able to save her, just flat out.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, and the way he just manhandles him to the point where he just holds Mark down with a fucking finger.
and
like,
starts
That
and
was
starts pressing.
yeah, and like just presses him into the ground. Like it's not actually like going into his head, but the fact that he's able to hold him down with a finger is like, oh shit, our boy is not good enough for this fight.
Yeah, no, he is about one Zenkai boost away.
yeah.
Maybe two.
Well, we might get there. The and yeah, and then Nolan comes in and they have a discussion about whether or not uh Nolan's a betrayer or not, and Nolan kind of admits to it that he is a traitor to the race.
Hmm.
It's pretty rough,
A race
but
traitor, if you will.
traitor and interesting. The character was black. What does he mean by this? No, but but there is something interesting that comes up in the fight, like afterwards, that I really appreciate. Is that, and like this is actually going to be a theme coming up in the next couple episodes, is that Mark's rage, he is very strong when he stops holding back, but that comes at the cost of him not being himself.
Well, this is kind of the conversation he actually had with Nolan during the fight, during that intermission.
Like you're still
Nolan
holding
tells him,
back.
"You're still
Yeah.
holding back. You need to fight to kill, or you will die.
Yeah,
It
this
is
No,
a
isn't
no, no,
fight
no,
to
no,
the
no, no, no,
death, and you're
no,
walking into
this
it
isn't
unarmed."
this
no,
isn't Earth like
no. It's very key. Sorry, you're wrong. Actually, what he says, he doesn't say you're going to die. He says all of these people
We are
and me
going
are
to
going
die.
to die. Like we are
Yeah.
all going to
You, me,
die.
your brothers, everybody.
You're going to fail everyone on this planet if you do not kill this bitch. Like just flat out. It's like putting it right there. It's it's really fucking heavy because it's like
I also
it's
appreciate that when he's berating him like that, hey, you're still holding back. You're not like doing it right. That lecture still feels like a disapproving
it
dad.
feels it does feel like, yeah, that's another thing too. It does feel like what something a dad would say like right there in that moment too. I appreciate that as well. It's yeah, and then what happens is a pretty fucking stellar yet brutal fight scene. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It is not.
and
pretty.
something I actually find really interesting is like the move set Mark
oh shit.
pulls when he's not holding back as much. We see instances that we've seen from other Marks or the other
Other
Mark
marks,
that
but also he fights
because
the knife hair bitch the same way that Omni Man fought Immortal. The
well
spinning, the fist, the straight
yeah, I
posture.
was going
His
to say
fighting
that.
style is similar.
Yeah, he used that move in the prologue alternate universe. He used that exact spin move on Immortal.
Hmm.
Which is a theme that he's acting more like his father.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
Is not what he wants. And it's unfortunate because that's what he has to be to save the lives that he wants to save.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
have
horrible
to fight like a Viltrumite.
yes. And it's a classic conundrum of like being bad to save people, is it the morally right thing to
well,
do?
and I like the fact that him that he's not holding back as much. It's not the insta win button. Like I'm
Well,
glad-
no. It is sort of because he starts beating the living fuck out of her.
Yeah, but
like
then
he
we're going
actually.
She only
to-
won
no,
because he hesitated.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he
yeah,
was. Yeah.
I was going to say it, but then the montage shows that it becomes more of a back and forth.
It does become more of a back and forth, but he does win like
Yeah,
pretty
I mean-
handedly.
But like, if the I win thing that I'm demonstrating would be like if he just
Oh, like he just
immediately.
just immediately obliterated her. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's not the
I
insta
have
win
turned
button.
off my cringe inhibitors, bitch. It's over.
Doctor, turn off my cringe inhibitors.
It's
Okay.
It's
it's
it's over, lady with weird hair blade weapon. I have the high ground.
Oh yeah, but I have a sad face. Oh shit, you right. Haha, Lamau. Stab in stomach.
Yeah, and I do like that. It's like he hesitated because he's still Mark, and yeah, that Viltrumite exploited that weakness.
Is what they would do. Like they're a pretty fucking
They are
brutal
a
race.
very brutal people and exterminated a good chunk of their population.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thing that you said that. Interesting story, Mark.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what we
no,
showed
no,
with the montage in season 1.
Yeah, no, but like it's an interesting observation you made because that might come back later. Just
Well,
put a pin in
like,
that.
yes.
So, but anyway, I actually skipped over a part that I actually really love too, and this is something that's actually really great characterization for Omni-Man. Is there's that moment after they beat the one Viltrumite in the cave, and they come back to the city and seeing all the Thraxans dead. Like Nolan starts crying and like doesn't know how to deal with his emotions in this moment. To the point where he grabs his fucking son by the throat and is like demanding him to tell him why he feels this way.
Why do I feel this way for these insignificant people?
Earth does have a tendency in most fiction to completely change a lot of people's minds.
Well, it's the idea of it's exposing to a completely different culture. Like, remember, Viltrumites are savage, warrior-based like monsters. However, like on Earth,
I think
there's other things to just that because we've kind of evolved past that
Well, I
point
was
really
also
go.
going to say I think one of the key differences is that it took so long for Mark to get his powers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
as opposed to
That's not a long time to Nolan. In fact, that's why using
Yeah.
the bug people is so clever for this episode. Is because it puts
still-
it in perspective for us. They have a lifespan to Mark comparable to what a human has to Nolan. So
I
for us
shall
in
be
the
right
audience, we are looking, oh, these things are like they're alive for like what, a couple months maybe at the high end. Like, yeah, some bad shit happens to them. It sucks, but I mean, give it a minute, we'll be over it. So you kind of forces you to kind of see it from the long-lived species perspective, and then you're just looking at Nolan like, yeah, you're shook up because you've opened yourself up to it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
here's the thing.
think it's a contributing factor at least because Mark was supposed to get his powers like years before he actually did, right?
Well, here's the thing, Slur. You say it's not a long time to Nolan, but here's the thing: it's a long time to Earthlings. It's a long time to Thraxans, and that's a perspective that he's never had to deal with. Granted,
Yeah.
he does live for a long time, and it is kind of a blink of an eye. But during that time, he's also being exposed to other people's lifetimes, and I feel like that's what actually fucks with him and it changes him
As
most.
opposed to the other worlds he's conquered, where
and the other worlds he conquers, he just fucking kills them and moves on. Here, he has to spend 20 years with these people.
Yeah,
and they do grow on him.
Yeah, and that's why he has such an aggressive, has so many aggressive statements when talking to Mark. It's like, I will not live amongst these animals anymore.
Okay.
Well,
sorry.
there is that, but then like I feel like if you look at the subtext,
No, he's overcompensating by saying that.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, you got it.
So it's why like he's also he then says the whole pet comment about Debbie. He's trying to justify it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we don't think like humans. We all have various different processes for dealing with the death of a pet, but the common thing is like a pet. Pets don't live as long as us. We get very attached to them, but eventually they will pass, and sooner or later we do get another pet. That's what.
I think you're taking the wrong lesson from that.
No, it's
yeah.
no. I'm saying like that's what he was trying. He was trying to justify it to himself. when he made the pet comment.
But regardless, we see the way that it's affecting him, and we see that the change is there, and like how it's actually fucking with him, and
Mhm.
it informs his like suicidal tendencies before, because he's just kind of a broken person. He's not the same person anymore, and like you see that with the way the other Viltrumites interact with him. He does have that fucking mean evil side to him that could fuck people up if he has to, but it is coated with this like other side of him that's just trying to
I
deal with being sensitive.
something I mentioned is a little neat pick when it showed the beginning of that montage, which was basically the end of season 1. It isn't like when he goes to the atmosphere, all the blood like it comes off because he went through the atmosphere. It really does just put a reminder of like, yeah, in that entire fight, Mark barely fucking hurt him. Like
Yeah,
Immortal,
didn't do anything to him.
Immortal did most of the damage, and all he did was give him bloodshot eyes.
Yeah, he just literally shoved his hands in his eyes.
And even then with the kaiju, the bloody nose from the how many $billion satellite.
Yeah.
Ooh, I a 10-star.
Just how much that fight, how brutal that fight really was, because you didn't fucking scratch him. And
so yeah, the fight.
Viltrumites are very, you should have gone for the head, because he ate that I'm trying to remember the black guy's name. He got disemboweled.
I think Lucan or something.
Had a spike. Yeah, I think it was Lucan. Had a spike put through his stomach, and we see him kick Nolan in the fucking spine, and he's just using his shirt like he's trying to like cup a bowl, but it's his fucking intestines.
Yep. And then he says mission
Viltrumites
accomplished.
are durable as fuck.
Yeah, and that's something that's weirdly consistent, because we've seen Omni-Man and Invincible shrug shit off. He does die in that moment right after, but it is beautifully set up where it's like, yeah, you need to make sure they're fucking dead.
It also just means that
I'm being invaded.
The main characters are not fucking special. Like, if Mark was able to survive Battle Beast, that guy was able to survive that. Not for very super long. He needed urgent medical care, but he was, he was good kicking.
I'm trying to.
You got to make sure they're down before you leave them for dead.
For both the Battle Beast fight and the fight against Omni-Man, doesn't Mark essentially need like almost complete reconstructive surgery?
He does need surgery, but it is like weirdly enough they bring it up in the next episode, but he does have a bit of a healing factor.
Yeah, like as they mentioned, like he knocked out almost all my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he heals fast enough that the surgery will even work. That's the point.
That's those surgeries, they're mainly just to, realign bone and also get him his 15th replacement teeth.
Well, there's a line about his teeth in the next episode, and that's all I'm gonna say. But so Nolan gets captured, and he basically yells at his son, you're cringe, Lamau. You should subscribe to my podcast, hit the bell, and subscribe, which is what anybody listening to this podcast should also do. But what he actually says is to read his books before he gets put away. Remember my work, read my books.
Yeah, we joked that it's like, because we there's the theory that was going on, but imagine he was just plugging his books, like, read my books. You can find them $39.99 on Amazon.
Art said they were good.
Yeah, it's Amazon trying to plug the spin-off series they're gonna do.
Right.
No, it's Amazon just trying to plug Amazon Prime. Free 2-day shipping if you subscribe to Prime. I'm waiting for that to happen when Rings of Power Season 2 Galadriel just turns like, by the way, if you want a copy of the Lord of the Rings written by J.R.R. Tolkien,
the Lord of the Ring, Gollum.
You can get Amazon Prime for $6 a month, and she's just holding up like a pamphlet. I don't mind the taste. So he's like, read my books. They're really great. 5-star reviews.
Then there's the interaction with I almost said the wrong name. There's the interaction with Krieg, and
voiced by great legend Clancy Brown.
Since they literally banished his character to the Shadow Realm in the last season, so I love the fact that like Krieg is trying to talk to him, and like Mark is trying to mouth off, and he doesn't even get a chance to finish his sentence before Krieg just lays him out. So like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
it's the most
he's halfway through "fuck you," and then Creek just punches him. He doesn't even let him finish.
Yeah, he doesn't
it's
even
one
say
of
I said not to talk. He just
yeah,
just goes continuing to talk.
it's like it's one of the most vicious punches in like the entire series. It's like, oh
Well,
god,
especially because
it's so wet and like fucking visceral. It's like, oof. Set
Mark's
the tone,
very
motherfucker.
familiar with this position of being beaten down while he can't do anything.
Yeah, Viltrumite just overpowering him. I wonder if that'll fucking come back up again. But
Oh,
It
yeah.
also shows you he's a Viltrumite who knows how to keep other Viltrumites in line. Hit
that's it.
first, ask nothing, talk.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that's what was the joke that was made with Alan's. Like, normally you guys are punch first, ask questions never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any criticisms of because I originally when I first saw that clip out of context, the holding back thing, I was originally was like, huh, just because he's holding back he's suddenly a better fighter. But it's like at the end of the day he still loses that fight because he
Well, yeah, imagine you're a UFC fighter and you're trying to land hits, but you're not trying to knock the other person out, and the other person doesn't care how many hits they get. They are trying to knock you the fuck out.
Well, that's
Even
why I
if
was
like
really
your skill is comparable, one of them's gonna perform a bit better.
that's why I was a little concerned that it was gonna be an I win type situation, because even if you stop holding back, in the case of with Hair Lady, she would still be a more well trained fighter.
More experienced fighter, I think, is the bigger point that made her do well.
Yeah, that was what I was. But the thing is, like, yeah, unlike in that clip, we know he doesn't. We now know from the actual episode he doesn't win. So it's not again addressing it's not an I win moment.
Well, no, he does win. He just hesitates at the end before killing her because he's not.
Yeah, it's still an L.
It's an L, but he does beat her in combat. He's just not breaking his character by staying like as oh shit.
He is a superior combatant. He just doesn't have the follow through.
Yeah,
and he paid for it.
Yep, and so does Dad.
Yeah.
Listened. I think with this same episode, I think we were addressed with, like, we originally thought it was gonna be a month. It turned out to be 2 months. With the rebuilding and getting Oliver back. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep the. I already knew from like hindsight that was Oliver, so it was, I'm just gonna keep calling him that, even though he's not named until the 6th episode. Friendship door.
That it comes to Earth. It's like, well, we can't just keep calling him human baby until he figures it out for himself.
Yeah, and I liked that that moment between Mark and Debbie. It's like, oh, you named him after Grandpa. Because most people do that. They name their children after their parents.
And I think that actually might be more of an American thing.
Do they not do that over in Europe land?
I mean, sometimes, but it's not really assumed. It's not that common. Most people just pick a name they like.
Like, I was named after my great grandpa.
There are no Lukes in my family.
Who? Your name's Slur.
Oh, I've got this guy I know named Luke.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like that's also that's common regardless of culture is biblical names. Like
it wasn't picked for the Bible either. It was just picked because
Star Wars.
Like I said,
exactly.
The common thing to do is just pick a name you like.
No, that's fair. Like that might be another Americanism because
I can't wait to have my first child, Optimus Prime.
No, well, it's like it's normally it's normally in the case of with how people name their kids over here. Normally, it's the convention that I've noticed is normally first name the mom picks a good chunk of time. And they pick whatever they want. Middle name is normally something biblical, and then last name mainly it's just if everything is going as normal, it's the last name of the dad.
Wait, what do you mean by biblical? Are we talking about
biblical is like my middle name's Jacob, for example.
Whoa. this is getting out of hand. Now there are two
That's
of them.
not biblical. That's a fucking Power
That's
Rangers
autistic.
YouTuber.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, I was
Jake
named
the Sur-
after. I was named after
Jake,
Jake.
Jake, the,
of course.
Jake the Surgeon on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right,
Link,
Jacob. You're not the only Jacob here.
link
Yeah.
down in the
Your
description.
real
Where
name is Mr. the Surgeon Bowie.
Oh
link
God.
down in the link down in the description below next to the subscribe button,
That
which you
means
should
the
also hit
bloodline
and hit
goes.
that like button.
That means the bloodline goes
Subscribe button.
movie Bob, Jake, me. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's part of my lore that I'm Movie Bob's son.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't like the.
Sorry,
We also-
you guys can like hit
This
permission
bloodline
and
is
control.
is cursed.
I'm currently eating a chicken leg.
that's fair. Also, yeah,
Not cooked. He's just eating a chicken live on.
he is
Yeah,
just
exactly.
eating. He's
Yeah,
just
just raw
eating a
chicken.
chicken. Oh wow, yeah, the whole thing is actually on Thraxa. I didn't realize that the whole episode's on Thraxa.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, there is a little bit with Debbie, and Debbie is not doing too well. The breakup was rough for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the breakup of your husband of 20 years turns out to be a just kills all of his friends and basically says, "Yeah, I'm just here to conquer planets and fuck bitches."
Based.
I'm already out of and I've already fucked one bitch. Like, why didn't you fuck more?
I thought we were gonna
Which
get a
you know,
girlfriend.
that's gonna be important for later.
I thought I was gonna get a girlfriend. We can go to the pet store later, son.
Ah,
It's like, I thought we were gonna go to the breeding chambers, Dad.
there's a lot of nice elf women here for you. Oh, what's this one? Free or in?
Oh, okay. So the other thing that happens in this episode, however, so yeah, Mark stays behind to basically help with the cleanup with Thraxa. Debbie not having a great time. That's fair. Also, somebody who's not having a great time is Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
Oh
Bobby
yeah.
Hill, he's back.
So he went to the site where, you know, he thought it was like, oh yeah, it's weird how this thing is just reduced to rubble and yet I'm still here. Digs through the rubble, finds his glasses.
Mm-hmm. And then this ends with, it's weird how we started with suicide, and then we go to self-mutilation.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was actually gonna kill himself after he realized that, but he was just seeing if he had blood, and he's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was
goes, "Oh,
testing
thank
to
God,"
see if he
but
still
then-
feels pain, and he
Yeah,
still
but
has
then he
Having an
noticed-
existential fucking crisis, like, am I real? And that normally you get committed for shit like that if you take a blade to your own arm because you're unsure if you're real. Like, that's
Yeah.
heavy fucking shit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Self
But,
harm's
hey,
not.
you're not
cool,
paranoid
kids.
if you're
Don't do
right.
it.
Right?
He's a
Exactly.
robot.
He's a
He's
bro.
a-
Well, that's when he finds out he's a robot because he notices the fucking knife that he just stabbed himself with is fucking bent. Like,
Yeah,
like,
the,
that's
the,
like-
the
like,
very tip, the
fuck.
very tip of it, yeah, got bent.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. It's like, now there's trouble in paradise. Also, shout out to the best character in the entire show, the King Mauler, with his long may he
Oh.
reign for about 2 seconds. He was about to do something really fucked up and make an army of Maulers, but thankfully, the clone had a very
Hold on, we
take on
missed
everything.
a part. Yeah, the Mauler made a clone of himself. That way he can do twice the EFAPs. No,
Whoa,
this one.
clone of myself.
This one
clone
knows
myself.
he's a clone and tries to make it subservient. And as we previously said from like other stuff, there's a reason why
Not just other stuff.
They would.
I'll say not just other stuff. It's actually in this show.
Yeah.
It's like when they're talking about it.
Well, no other stuff. I was mentioning him like when we mentioned it. Not, and I'm pretty sure it is said in season 1.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he explains it to
Robot, Rudy, and like he goes, yeah, this is why we do this because like we don't know which one's real, and he goes, well, don't worry, that problem takes care of itself because they assume the baby head thing is dead.
Yeah. And then the poisons his lemonade, and he makes a fantastic lemonade apparently.
and a bourguignon.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, but
It's
King Mauler
fantastic.
just doesn't appreciate that. You know, he deserved to die.
And that's why it's like, what was the exact line? It's like, and you forgot why, like, how this really fucking works.
And he's like, this
works for a fucking reason.
It's so weird saying that because it is him, but yeah, it's weird. But yeah, I appreciate the little characterization. I think that's actually, weirdly enough, I think that's actually it for the Maulers for this season, which is really sad because I admitted those are my favorite characters. But
And they're voiced by one of my favorite voice actors.
Yep, shout out to Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yep. Cleveland Jr. from the
I do like
best known as his role as football player and basketball.
Yeah. The role I knew him the most was Gantu from Lilo and Stitch. Oh, and wow, he was also Crunch
Trigon
from Crash Bandicoot.
He's also Trigon from Teen Titans.
Yeah, he's done a lot. Man has moved around in the industry.
He's a career voice actor.
Yes. So what's the next note you guys have?
We didn't cover this, and this is something really hilariously important, is that this is the first time we actually get a true subversion of the title card.
Oh yeah, it wasn't
literally
said by.
Well, I guess the Alan the Alien thing was a subversion, but this one is straight up him about to say something, and like it just goes to a completely different thing that he says.
Oh yeah,
he's going to say like "Go fuck yourself," I think, right?
No, he goes, "Oh, you've got to be," and then it cuts.
Oh yeah, fucking kidding.
Fucking kidding me! like it's pretty well done.
Oh, we also missed my I kind of very briefly brought this up before recording, but character design in this show generally I think is pretty good, and some stand out more than others. You know, you got Battle Beast in the fucking god tier, and then you get things like generic laser hand guy who appears for like one bit of one episode.
The cannon guy.
Kill cannon.
Yeah. Whereas Viltrumites specifically, because they're so militaristic, they have like a very strict uniform policy, and their uniform is just white and gray with like no features whatsoever except for very rare examples.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have the face, any kind of like accessories on the face, and the body shape. You have to get the entire character's personality and vibe just from those things, and they pull it off pretty fucking consistently.
Yeah,
I think that's good. I think that's neat.
Yeah, like with I forgot her name, but the chick with the ponytail with the knife at the end, and then that one guy who's just a ginger. You get like a lot of like true things that show how villainous they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
The knife bitch is an underhanded fighter, the ginger's a jobber, and then the big beefy guy is big.
It's not the ginger that also was wearing his basketball glasses. That fucking
he's basically head to toe dressed like the Viltrumite that doesn't make it.
And yeah, he was the one that was picked last in volleyball. Dodgeball. I don't know why I said volleyball.
He was the last one picked in volleyball. The manliest of men's sports.
Hey, well, Tom Cruise showed me that. All while he was covered in like a fucking 17 spray bottles of Vaseline. Notice that in the first Top Gun, people are fucking drenched.
Yeah, everyone's just kind of wet all the time.
How else? I mean, how else are they supposed to let us know how totally straight everything is?
Yep.
We're just casually sitting at a desk. Sir, you're sweating enough that you could fill an ocean.
God, that first movie was so awful. I'm so glad the fucking second movie was so good. The first movie sucks. Anyway.
I don't
know
if I could still definitively say the first movie sucks. I will say Maverick is better. However,
Maverick is a million times better. I would say the first Top Gun is like a 6. The fucking Maverick is a straight 10 out of 10. But anyway, speaking of 10 out of 10s, we get some dialogue that makes us point out that one of our favorite characters from 40K is very similar to one of our favorite characters in Invincible.
Yeah, the
we
I
get
am
we,
the
we
immortal.
we get the comic trope of like, oh, I'm sure there's nothing wrong going on. Meanwhile, the Guardians of the Globe and multiple other heroes, by the way, it's not just the
Yeah,
Guardians.
yeah.
There
They
are
had,
a bunch of like Avenger, like
yeah,
there's an
they're
event.
having
Endgame is happening on Earth right now.
yeah,
Well,
they're having their
Mark
own
is.
portals moment. And what
It's like you
do
will
you
bow before my power.
no?
No.
No,
Yeah,
no,
immortal is just Rogel Dorn.
it's just.
I will not bow.
I thought you were dead. I was dead.
Dead.
In
I
pretend.
pretend.
How did you survive? I survived by dying in pretend.
There
I
is no
believe he
such
is on
sauce,
narcotics.
Cecil.
And
There
yeah,
is
we get
no such sauce product.
Andressa and Nyalzot being very fucking old, and it's crazy how like you see these characters for literally only one episode, but like it hurts like kind of just see them like just acknowledging the fact that they are just straight up going to die, but they still care about Mark and Nolan's kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how a lot of media, at least that I've been consuming late, is really they really like touching on that thing called the passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as Jake's been slowly making me watch Rerun.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
have you watched any more?
No, not by myself.
I will strike you.
I'm surprised you didn't catch the free run joke I made, or you made the breeding chamber. It was like, oh, we got this nice elf here. What's this?
Yeah, I know. I heard you say free run. Yeah.
You're just. I was waiting for you to pull an immortal and go, how dare you?
How dare you?
You keep
I
my
thought-
wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Free run just is the perfect wife. Let's be real.
She's perfect. She's powerful. She's beautiful. She's autistic. You can't ask for much, and she hates the mornings. She's really the perfect woman. But speaking of the perfect women, so Mark finally makes his way back to
Mark
Earth.
is indeed the perfect one.
Yep. That's
He's very breedable too.
That's called a segue.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
No.
So Mark comes back to Earth with his baby brother, and kind of just dumps it on Debbie.
Yeah, it's
No,
more.
he doesn't.
He doesn't. I'm fucking around. Debbie, like he explains everything to Debbie, and Debbie is now realizing that Omni-Man is still Nolan's still alive and out there, and so
not
she's
the
having
most
to grapple
happy
with
about
that.
it.
And she's having to grapple with that, and the fact that he had another kid with another woman, bug woman.
And she's experiencing the same reaction that Mark had previously.
It's like lovely.
Because Mark's had time to cool off. This is just now getting introduced to her.
Yeah. So yeah, Debbie takes in baby Thanos and to basically help raise him. So it's like I said, it's a cute moment between the two characters.
And
like
character writing wise, I appreciate how, like, Mark never suggests that she take the kid. His first thing is, I'm going to take a year off college.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he's
a-
fully prepared to take it on himself, and she offers. Like, it's a small thing, because even if he did take it on himself, he kind of knows his mom would help him out, at least.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
he never tries to put that on someone else. He
Yeah,
knows
and
that
as
he
he-
wants to take care of the kid, so he wants to take care of the kid.
And as he said, that he already got used to changing his diapers on the way back.
Yeah.
Funny bit of dialogue where nobody wants to change the diapers, so fuck you, son. Change the diaper before you leave.
Yeah.
Changing diapers is a gross affair.
Changing diapers is very stinky.
Especially if it's not solid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
And most of the time, it's not. That's the joys of parenting. It's hell. Don't breed.
Yeah. Having
you know I'm going to, Wyatt.
having kids sucks. Just
That would
let the
that would
human race fall
imply
apart.
you would need to put it in someone.
Anyway, moving on
Listen.
from that.
Only for now.
So dealing with that, Bobby Hill, after realizing that he is a cyborg, he goes, "Yo, Cecil, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
Why'd
I
you
do
do-
like
why'd you do this?
he
Why'd
was
you do
very
this?
calm for a moment. He's like, I need to talk to you. It's like, not now.
No,
And he's
no.
like, no, then
No, no.
make time. Everybody out.
And I love that because he's like, "All right, gee, it's fine. You act like you're having existential crisis or something."
we got a return of the white light room, or
Yeah, and a really fucked up moment because remember Donnelly's basically supposed to be Cecil's number 2, and he doesn't have permission to see in this room. It's like,
yeah. He's like, I thought I had white light access,
and he's like, not this one. It's like, oof.
and then we basically get the
reveal
Sam Worthington character from Terminator Salvation, but it's Donald.
Yeah.
It is
Forgot
also
about
a
that,
very,
didn't you?
very Cecil thing of we, in a decision that on the face of it is made in your interest, you know, PTSD's a bitch, we thought you'd be better without it. Like, you can read that as being for Bobby's benefit, but really,
Yeah.
you know it wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
and also, not to,
we didn't want you to be traumatized, so we took your memory of the shit things that have happened to you away from you. You don't get to do that.
yeah, I was about to say, like, in Borderline, it's no matter what, it's like, you don't get to make that decision for somebody.
well, we can't talk about it because that will come up later. But I don't think it was Cecil's decision. But we'll get to that.
Not fully, but he definitely had input.
He did definitely an input, but I don't think the final decision was his, as we'll talk about later.
Mhm. When we
Yeah.
get there.
Oof. So yeah, Mark comes back and yeah, he sees his mom first. He comes back to his college dorm to see his best friend, and he's going to see his girlfriend when Cecil confronts him.
Well, before even that, he's been gone for 2 months, and William couldn't cover him the whole time, and now the dean
Well,
wants
yeah.
to speak to him for
Oh, yeah,
academic
yeah.
probation, which, by the way,
And I love
not
that
fun.
he's like, you said you could cover me. He's like, yeah, but for 2 months, dog. Like, that's a long fucking time.
Yeah. Well, you were in space with your dad and Space Brother, and
Yeah, academic probation, if I remember correctly, depending on the school, that means he can't even go to, like, into, like, other schools for,
it
a couple
depends.
years.
It depends. It depends on how the school does it. It depends on the school does it because it could be up to like their own discretion. That's not 100% true. So
No, yeah,
I
said yeah, it depends on the school. When I got it from KU, I couldn't attend any other schools for like I think 2 years.
Yeah.
wow, that's gay.
So
That's what happens when you flunk a good chunk of your classes.
flunking classes aside, he's going to go talk to Amber, and he's confronted with Cecil, and Cecil isn't exactly happy about his absence, and also knows everything.
Yeah,
Which this leads to a very good like conflict between the two characters, where we see that Cecil still is untrusting of Mark because he has his fucking house bugged.
Yeah. It's like, you caught everything on your fucking cameras. Why do you need me to tell you? It's like, oh, Mark,
we
would
don't have
never put
cameras.
I
in your
would
house.
never put cameras in your house.
Fucking
Even-
goddamn it, Cecil.
Looks, scratches his neck, looks nervously to the
remembers
right.
entirety of season 1 where there are cameras.
Well, no, there
Pulls-
were cameras. The implication is there are no cameras now. The house is still bugged to shit, though.
Yeah.
Microphones.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's like
anytime
we only listen in when certain keywords are said.
keywords are said. Fuck yeah, that.
Yeah, and
That's
it's like,
so
what
fucked.
designates as a keyword, you son of a bitch.
Bitch.
Well, Nolan, Omni-Man,
That's all we seem to
Fucker.
talk about these days.
Fuck Cecil. What? Why? Why would you say that? I mean, hey, Mark. But there's
Pizza, because you guys eat too much pizza. You need to go on a diet.
well, the real bit though is that Cecil's like, we'll have somebody come pick up the kid in a minute, and Cecil says that just the kid when he's talking about Mark's brother. It's like it's this very inhuman, like cold reaction to something that Mark deeply cares about.
Yeah, and Mark
it's truly where we actually get like one of the first times that him and Cecil actually come to like add ends to each other. Like,
it's one of the
point
first.
where it's like it is threatening. At that
Yeah,
point.
it's one of the times where we see a good old Mark temper spike, because
Mhm.
yeah, he got a bit pissed there for a moment.
He got a bit of.
But yeah,
he got a
you
bit-
are
he didn't-
not going to strong arm this and take a part of my family away from me.
Yeah,
That
I was
is
about to say,
not fucking happening.
he got a temper flare, but it's key to note that it was a temper flare because somebody threatened his family.
No, yeah,
And you don't
it was
do that to
it
Mark.
was a yeah, it was a good, it was totally justifiable. It is interesting seeing like when his temper flares. It's like, yeah, you're
You have no
you're
idea.
threatening to
idea
do
what
something like this, and
you have no idea what his family has been through, what he's been through. You know, it's stuff like that. But yeah, and I appreciate though that he does. He is the first one to de-escalate the situation, even though he was about to threaten Cecil. He goes, "I'll check in tomorrow." He lets it slip a little bit, but he does bring it back. It's something I really appreciate. That's him kind of like bringing in the temper, even though it is there.
yeah.
And Cecil, once again, being cold and calculating, but at the same time very understanding. It's like what he just did was kind of fucked up, and he knows that.
Yep. And then I think in this episode, Rex decides to be not a complete asshole.
Well,
This is
Oh no, he's
justified,
still
yeah.
an asshole.
So
but
in
he's
this
not
case-
fucking
complete
legal.
asshole.
in
I
this
said- I
case,
said
it's
this-
for
I said
it's
this-
for a reason though. So
I say this as like I said this during our reviewing. He's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
So
Yeah.
to
That's the
clarify, the reason he's not being as much of an asshole for a moment is because it turns out there's a Martian ship getting close to Earth.
That's not
And,
responding to them and is filled to the brim with fucking life forms.
Yeah,
Which also
and
we
so
get a
weird
great
sorrows.
we also get a great payoff to everybody knowing who the fuck Shapesmith is.
yeah,
Of
Shapesmith
course you know who
finally
you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Wait,
like we
you
know you're
all knew?
Martian.
You
I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was that Samson who says that. No,
Yes.
Yeah.
no, it
Yes.
wasn't Samson. No, it wasn't Samson. I think it was Bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, because Samson was the one. He's literally looking, staring dead ass
Well,
in the eyes of
'cause-
Shapeman. Isn't that crazy? I wish we knew somebody who was possibly a Martian.
Well, yeah, because during the fight with that, like, do you surrender guy, Shapesmith got a bit hurt and revealed his Martian form for a moment.
For a second, yeah.
And that's all
Yeah.
it takes.
Mhm.
The disguise
Well,
needs
no.
to just fall once.
And it's like I love that he's going to do the reveal, and fucking Cecil's like, "We fucking know, you dipshit."
What
Shapes-
let you on the team without knowing that? What do you
Shape-
think we are?
Shapesmith is
I had to
Is-
step. I had to step out during this bit, but I do appreciate that. Like a lot of the laughs I've noticed from you guys has been coming from Shapesmith's fucking true autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
It's-
very funny character to have in the show up to this point.
it's a chuckle-worthy moment, but also at the same time, my God, his naivete is it's
But even
definitely
compared
getting
to other
infuriating.
Martians, he is fucking capital R-tarded.
Yeah, he's
He is like
there's just something like when he grew up on Mars, not Earth.
As a
some
Mars, what he doesn't say Martian. He says something else. Was it
As
Mars?
a Mars baby.
yeah, as a Mars baby.
As a Marsian baby.
As a Mars
Yeah, something
baby.
like that.
and it's like I grew up on Mars. It's like, yeah, we know that's like you being a Martian. Martian is specifically a Mars thing.
You're gonna get left behind.
And then we found out like, oh yeah, he's curious. And then in order to escape, he just fucking saw the astronaut and then just knocked him out. Like I thought my friends would help him. So they need more team members to go into space, and so Rex is like, I know this is uncharacteristic of me, but I have an idea.
What happened? Host migration?
You
Oh, you got left behind in the mission because
what I
you
was trying
weren't
to
at the
say.
fucking extraction.
Oh, I was heading towards the extraction.
Not fast enough.
Just get there and let me know when you do. But yeah, the whole Mars conversation, I just love that. He's like, how the fuck do we know he's not lying? He's like, no, I was lying to you before. Now I'm telling you the truth.
It's like, oh my
It's supposed to be
fucking god.
convincing at all. It's pretty good.
So we get Rex. His master plan is to basically go to Adam Eve and ask for help. While she's been living, she went back to her parents, and is basically just not using her powers for a bit.
Yeah, something about like almost killing a bunch of fucking families and kids.
Oh yes,
Just
we forgot when Kill
rubbed
Cannon
her the wrong way.
Kill Cannon went specifically to the team's little hideout that Adam Eve was sleeping in at the moment, pulls out something that Robot designed and put it in his cannon. During the instigating fight, some civilians do get hurt, and that's what furthers her whole destructive complex that's been going on as of late. And as Rex reminded her, it's like, you know, you're good. Like everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. And he points at self. And then that's when we recruit Adam Eve to the away team. Which, away team's pretty strong. We're looking at some pretty heavy hitters.
Something I've noticed in the season so far, we have like very good comfort character speeches. Which, okay, remember last time we sat down to talk about it, I said that a big part of this season, especially the first half of it, is recovering from the end of season 1, kind of getting our bearings and figuring out where we go from here as characters and as a story and blah blah blah. A big part of that is
still
characters and
no, hold on, no, this is a separate one because I picked only flashing ones.
Okay, but we actually skipped over something kind of important. There is a once again, because after the Cecil conversation, Mark goes to talk to Amber, and even though like I feel like this is like the world's smallest violin moments, like Amber's problems aren't as big and world shattering as Mark's, but they are still problems to her, and he is and here's the thing, he is in a way kind of failing her, and then we bring that up literally later because
see, this is a thing I notice people do until they think about it a little bit, where they will compare pain to see, it's like, okay, well, this guy's going through this, so that thing that doesn't even matter. It's like, dude,
I've heard that.
If I fucking
it's because we're
my toe and you're in a wheelchair, my toe still fucking hurts. Like,
people are oddly competitive. That's just it. People are oddly competitive.
Being competitive about pain is pathetic. It is absolute fucking rap.
And to be fair, hang on, I want to point this out. To be fair, the show is not doing this. I'm just saying people have been doing this where it's like, oh, her grandfather died. Like it's like, yeah, that's important to her though. Yeah. And if you care about this person, you care about their problems.
Yeah, she wasn't doing good for a full month. Like she wasn't.
No. Yeah, she's a really smart kid, but she was failing her classes because her fucking grandfather died. And then Mark's like, "Oh fuck, I didn't."
And her boyfriend and Mark wasn't there to support her and help her get through it as well.
Yeah, and she had.
It's not that he should have been there because it's more important or more world changing. It's more just, hey, I have obligations to the people in my life and I care about them. And even if I miss them for good reasons, I still fucking missed them. The fact that I wasn't there for good reasons doesn't change the fact that I wasn't there. Yeah. And this is why I really love when they both go to other people to talk about the relationship.
Yeah.
You get that they love and respect each other completely, but that the relationship is also just kind of not working because people's needs aren't being met. Yeah. That's normal. That's real.
Yeah, and I think in this episode, let me double check. No, shit, it's the beginning of the next one. They do have that like little date or whatever, and it is fucking so awkward.
They're like, this feels like a first date, a bad first date.
Yeah, it's a fucking great line. Yeah, that's true. I
really like Amber now. Like, it's...
Amber's doing a lot of work, and that's the thing is that like she's doing her best to be a good girlfriend, but she's also got her own agency and her own problems.
Man, it's almost as if like shows should follow this example of oh, there's a thing our community doesn't like. They're just sexist and
it's weird. Yeah, it's weird how like they've basically heard the universal fucking hatred for Amber, and they're now doing basically. Here's the thing: craziest thing is they're basically doing the exact same thing they did in season 1, except for they're making Amber a little bit more reasonable, and that's coming off as sympathetic because we know that she's dealing with her issues, but she's trying her best, and she's failing.
Like for like a split second, it's like, oh, like it's the lying was one thing, like because she does mention. For during it was either the Eve conversation or previous, where she mentions the lying bit, and it's like, yeah, he was lying, but you're kind of like you kind of accidentally played back to the whole like you knew type
No,
deal.
no. What are you talking about? Are you talking about with the fact she has to lie to her parents and all that stuff? Yeah, it's kind of
No,
fucked up.
when um Adam Eve talks about how Rex used to cheat on her, but the lying was the hardest part because it made her feel so devalued. And then Amber says the lying was the hardest for me as well, but you know I tried to get past that, and then yeah.
For a
So you
twinge,
kind of get
that
the thing
kind
where
of felt
even if
like
she
the
did know, the lying could still be hard for her. So it doubles back to the part of it that was reasonable, that we could understand why it wasn't, you know, good for her, or why it was difficult for her to like deal with, without doubling down on the part of her that was being a
right.
bit of an asshole.
Right, that's why I said I felt a twinge, but not full on. Like, no, don't like that. Like, to me, it felt like they got close, but didn't. Of course, saved it in the end.
It's like, oh, as if the writing's actually a lot better this season than it was in the first one.
Yeah, it's
Oh
almost
yeah,
if
it is. It
it's
is
almost if they
much
got through
better.
their growing pains of season 1, where they're like, yeah, let's, especially with superhero shows and all that kind of stuff flooding the market. They were really trying to like, yeah, here's our story. Hope you like it, and people are like, we love it, except for Amber. It's like, all right, we'll fix Amber.
There is this weird bit of like, so we could talk about this more when the season 2 is over, but like, there's this feeling I get with the show because Invincible is supposed to be it's supposed to be a deconstructive media of superhero, the genre. Like, I would directly
Is
compare it
it?
to. Well, hang on, let me talk. Let me finish.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like something like a deconstructive narrative of like like the one to one is like the first Justice League show. However, nowadays with how superhero media is being handled, it feels a lot more like a return to formula rather than deconstruction thing, which in itself could be a deconstructive like thing as that, but it
Reconstructive.
reconstructed. Yeah, it's weird to say that about this, but because of how superhero media has been treated recently, it's I don't know. It's like it's weird to say this. It feels like a breath of fresh air as
Well,
opposed to like making fun of something.
to compare it to the good old bullshit of the MCU, it's because like I honestly think like when the MCU tries to be deconstructive, it hasn't been around long enough to try to be deconstructive. Instead, just it's not being deconstructive. It's just destroying shit. Like the whole like Tony Stark didn't pay for the Avengers. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have enough. You haven't been around long enough to make up that blatant lie, and we wouldn't fucking notice.
There is
I
a
don't
bit
know.
of there is
I
a
think
bit of
I
that
keep.
later, but I do have a counter argument to it as well. So we'll get to it when it happens. But
Or like with the boys, where it's like it's trying to the boys is deconstructive in the sense that like it's super fucking cynical. It thinks that if people really did have superpowers, like 99.5% of them would just be total shitbags.
exactly.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
the comic.
which is just wrong. Like yeah, there would be a lot of assholes, but there would be a ton of people that would still want to just do good.
No, no, no. We're
Well, I
gonna
think
have
the
Starlight get a train
foundational
run on her
difference
by
there.
three. By was it the Deep, A Train, and Homelander?
Yeah, we're not going to get into it because the boys comic
Yeah,
is
the
trash.
boys comic is terrible. Nobody
Yeah,
should read it.
when I'm
But the
referencing
foundational
the
difference
boys, I'm
is
normally talking about the show.
tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a
Show
difference
is somehow
in
less
something that's
mean-spirited.
destructive because it's written by someone who just doesn't like the genre and wants to tear it down, versus something that's deconstructive because it's taking very specific parts of a genre and exploring them, like asking
Exactly.
weird questions. How would this actually work when these people have to have lives?
Yeah,
You know,
which
getting
is
into these
good.
weird details.
It's like the famous examples of like deconstructive versus like actually like trying to figure this out. Like is once again with Star Wars. The Last Jedi is just trying to rip shit apart. KOTOR 2 actually tries to talk about things like how destiny seems to just interfere with just the galaxy's outright bullshit.
Well,
And
not
like
Destiny. Well, not Destiny. The Force.
the Force and Destiny can a good chunk of time are linked together, especially with
They
the
they they
Disney's shit
can't
now.
they can be, but the whole point of KOTOR was the Force is the key to the problem of the universe.
Because it basically keeps manipulating shit so it can basically continue a cycle.
Yep. But
That's why she wanted to end the cycle.
yep, KOTOR 2 is great. If you haven't played it, go play it. If you like Star
Yeah,
Wars.
that's the difference in like how it was doing this out of a sense of like understanding like the implications of the genre, as opposed to I just don't like Star Wars, so I'm going to take the character that everybody loves and make him a sad old man.
that drinks titty milk,
Boo, booyah.
and not
So-
even like.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jake. Say what you guys say.
No, I was gonna make another joke. So
That's fair. There is something that is being set up very subtly, and I really appreciate it. We all know who the best girl is in the show. It's not even a discussion, right? It's Doc Seismic.
Duplicate.
But
no, it's well, no, that's a spoiler. Never mind.
It's
Well,
immortal.
it's immortal.
Immortal, exactly.
He's perfect to me, and all of his 500 pounds of pure muscle.
There's something being set up with Mark and another character, and like, I mean, if you can't see the fucking writing on the wall, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
there's
mean,
a,
that was given even all the way back in season 1. Like, you
Exactly.
can see the writing on the
there's a
on the
there's
wall.
a moment where the away team is getting ready to launch, and so yeah, Rex comes in to help Eve, one, to actually look out for one of his friends, but two, to also recruit her for a very important mission that they need basically all hands on deck for.
Yeah, that's why I love that exchange so much, because it's like, yeah, you're in the black for all the, like, in terms of shit you messed up on. It's like, oh, thanks. Now what do you need?
Okay, yeah, but you also need to be more in the black because the world's in danger. When she arrives on the ship, Invincible goes, Eve, and he goes to hug her, and it's almost as a shock to her. Like, she is very, like, confused, like, weirded out, but she's not, like, initially, like, happy about it. She has a weird look in her eye, and she does eventually warm up to it. But like I said, it's those tiny little points that will eventually lead to something else in the future that I really appreciate that this animation does with the subtlety.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
being
that's how
telegraphed and built
the-
up very well.
The Hiddle
Yeah.
subtleties are really good in this show.
The Hibble subtleties,
the
yes.
hipple subtleties. Yeah, because that's how somebody who likes somebody would actually deal with that situation. They'd probably feel a little weirded out, like at the first. So like, it's cute.
And plus, I think they said Eve hasn't seen Mark since he got back. So that was also,
Yeah.
like, the first time seeing each other.
But at the same time, like, it's a weird thing that she would not be like smiling when he goes to hug her instead of like being weirded out.
Well, she's also just very like iffy about going out and using her powers again anyway.
She's very
So
in her
to
own
go
head
directly
right now.
from that like in her own head energy to, oh,
Shit.
people are like very happy to see me right now. That's
Oh,
a big gear shift.
damn it all.
It's okay, just hang back. We just need to get one. And
Already gets
yeah,
one.
we get the initial assault on the ship, which one of my favorite lines is, it's like, oh, they know they're coming. Raise the shields. This isn't Star Trek. We don't have shields.
And
Yeah, it's just a shuttle.
I appreciate that Zachary Quinto, the man who played Spock in the J.J. Abrams Trek, was the one who said that. It's like, oh, thanks, Zach. That actually, that made me chuckle.
You know, whenever someone says thanks, Zach, I'm immediately reminded of another Zach.
Of Smiling Friends, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, smiling. Yep.
Like Zach Hadel? Yeah.
Yeah, the turn on the TV, doesn't matter what channel. It's more Smiling Friends. We need to watch that after this.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, there's
Spark-
episode 4.
Yeah,
Apparently
but there's a huge cameo that happens, and I want to
Yeah,
Yep.
I want to see
Somebody
it.
sent
Oh,
me
you got
it.
spoiled?
Somebody sent it to me,
I-
and like it
uh,
didn't
Damn it.
matter.
He-
I had a fat smile on my face. I was so happy.
I
I was so happy.
I got spoiled by the man himself because he needed to make a TikTok that it happened, and it's like, oh, thanks.
I don't mind.
He
I
has
don't
a
mind that stuff.
TikTok?
Yeah, yes, of course he has a TikTok.
Everybody has
Fucking-
TikTok except me because I don't want the Chinese government stealing the shit with the
Yeah.
Japanese government.
I
is
like
already...
my spyware built American. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
Well,
very much.
No, I was going to say Japan has already stolen my data like several times.
Anyways,
Thanks, Sony.
so yeah, they do the initial like assault on there, and yeah, it's going pretty bad. Like, there's a bunch of sequids and all that shit, and like, yeah, it's not a great time, but it seems like something they could potentially manage, like with like a little bit of losses. It's okay. However, meanwhile, back on Krypton, the home team, consisting of Duplicate, Duplicates,
Rex.
Ray-
Shrinking Ray,
Ray.
Shrinking Ray, that's her name.
Yeah.
And oh shit, this is somebody's spy. and the true leader of the Guardians of the Globe, Rex Splode, they are getting informed that the Lizard League is attacking. And Lizard League Lamau, there have been jobbers literally the entire season 1, so they should have no problems with them, right?
For some reason, they hit
Yeah,
a lot harder.
yeah. Prison really changed King Lizard, man.
Yeah, King
Yeah.
Lizard ain't fucking around anymore, and like, man, like, it is like almost uncomfortable how brutal it is. Because like, even though, don't get me wrong, everything happening with the Sequids, like, in macro level, very fucking brutal, very scary shit. However, uh, like, it does still feel like a Saturday morning cartoon shit. Whereas there's bodies being dropped.
People are fucking dying, and then unfortunately duplicate like this. She permanently dies this time,
Like, it's the
and
once,
she doesn't.
okay, so this
and
is
she
something
dies
this is
pretty
something,
hard.
this is something I forgot to like really mention about season 1, but like, or not sorry season 1, but episode 1 to 3, the voice acting in this show is top fucking notch.
Yes.
You really get the sense that she's horrified for her life in that moment. Like, I'm laughing because it makes me really uncomfortable hearing how like scared she is like in that moment. And
Yeah, when she
like,
cries out for help, it like it sounds like she is pleading for her life. And
it's a good contrast from like how like it's like, oh, aren't these guys supposed to be jobbers? It's like, well, hey, who dies first has to buy a pizza, and like, yeah, it goes from that to, oh shit,
and
Duplicate
then
just got fucking
and
smashed together.
and how we thought Shrinking Ray died. It was originally because the big guy eats her, and it's like, oh, you just did that to somebody who can expand, and it's like, just because they can expand doesn't mean that they can actually break through their body.
Especially if somebody
He probably should have chewed.
he probably should have, but he also didn't need to, which was horrific. Like, it's like, oh man, what a way to go. And yeah, it is not looking great for them. And then fucking Rex gets his fucking hand bitten off.
But
Like,
no, he sacrifices his hand in a clever bit of what he was doing, because instead of throwing his whole batons, he just pulls out his, I think it's like quarters or arcade tokens. I remember he said that he, like, other than his batons, he does use something specific. But he holds on to it. He gets his hand chopped off, and then it explodes, blowing that guy's fucking head off.
yeah, fuck that guy.
And then, as we then saw, it's like the brave always die first, and Rex, in his infant wisdom, like, just fucking do it.
Well, no, well, it's actually a very prevalent line because it does come up later, which is really horrible.
Yeah.
It is the line of, but is it the brave man who survives, or is it the man who waits for him to be tired?
Yeah, and Rex, Rex just going like, just fucking do it.
Just do it, you prick. This is a really good.
Yeah,
line.
and apparently he's really dumb because he shoots like off to the side. Now, granted, I understand why you think that'd kill him, but like, I kind of do like the placements where it's like, oh yeah, it's not like right dead center of the head. It's like off to the side, where like potentially it's a more plausible for him to survive.
Well, I did kind of look this up a little bit just because I was curious, because I know people have survived headshots in the past.
Yes.
And apparently, there's a few key factors. One, that bullet needs to be moving at such a velocity that there is exactly no sideways movement. There is no wobble as it travels through the brain. So
Almost if
tissue
it's point
damage
blank.
is kept to a minimum. As
Almost
if it's point blank.
Yeah.
So it basically needs to be a super clean shot with no wobble, and it needs to pierce directly through, as much as possible, non-critical tissue of the brain.
Yeah.
But you are still gonna be fucked up.
Which,
I'm trying not.
going
You're
into-
I'm
not gonna be
trying
the same
not
after.
to reference Postal, because it's like, because that's part of like a Apocalypse Weekend. Ah, my head. It's like, where am I, and why does my medulla oblongata hurt? It's like the dude has a fucking bandage over his head as he tried to shoot himself.
But yeah, so going into the next episode, I really appreciate that, like, Rex gets up, but he is not doing well.
He's losing
Like,
a lot of blood.
he's losing a lot of blood. He is very groggy. His fucking bodily functions aren't working really well, and just pure fucking rage and adrenaline.
Yeah.
kills this man
Right
by
then-
beating him to death with his fucking nub. Like, oh my
It's
god!
like, yeah, with a spiky bone.
At that point, he's more adrenaline than blood, honestly. Viltrumite type energy.
And yeah, and it's like fucking like we were saying about the voice acting. It's like, yeah, fuck. Like, he just sounds like
Am I
so
okay?
fucked up.
What a weird question. Of
Of
course
course
I'm
I'm
okay.
okay. I'm fucking.
Yeah, and then
Ba-ba-ba,
yeah, and then he gets
ba-ba-ba.
the Invincible line.
That might be one of my favorite of the
Dude, they're all
Invincible title card cutaways so
They're
far.
all so
I'm-
good. They're all really
Again,
good.
as I mentioned in the first episode, as we're getting more and more showing of the blue and black Invincible logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Just put a pin in that. We'll
yeah,
save it.
I'm getting excited to say the least.
Yeah. So, yeah, and yeah, obviously Rex like collapses because his adrenaline's
only
like,
got
going
a-
down, and
He's only got a hole in his head and,
like
and
dude, the
missing
fact
a
and
hand.
like what really fucks with me is when he looks down at his hand, he's like, ah, and it's just bleeding and fucking cursing blood. It's like, oh my god, dude, this motherfucker is not doing well.
he's not
Which-
doing
which-
great.
Which is a going theme of the show is that, hey, Cass isn't doing very well.
They didn't start off very well, and they're not really getting a lot of time to rest,
Heal.
recuperate,
Is that-
and heal.
Are we like you could just say yes or no? Are we going to get more of an explanation as to why the King Lizard gang just suddenly went from apparently jobbers to oh my god they're murdering us?
Hey, like I said,
no,
prison
no.
changes a man.
Okay. Well, hang on. Here's the thing, though. So you might have missed it because it's really subtle, but it's what the Supreme Lizard says, about how it's like, yes, we have failed. Yes, once again, it was my fault. But don't worry, whatever they say on social media, we will rise up. The implication is that everything has been done under Supreme Lizard, not under King Lizard.
Okay,
Yeah,
oh, so
he shoots that fucking jobber in the head. Like, it's a really cathartic and brutal fucking scene. But yeah. Needless to say, I don't think Lizard League will ever recover from this. But yeah.
Well, no, of course not.
And
No,
yeah,
like their best guys were like the big dude and like fucking Claws girl.
yeah.
and she got like so big guy got his fucking head exploded. Other lady got cut in half by Rex's fucking baton.
Yeah, I know. Like, and I appreciate that. Like, it's so unceremonious because like we just saw like Duplicate and fucking Shrinking Ray just basically die in front of us, and the entire time it's like Rex is in strict panic mode. He's like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. Like, and like he's in pure duty mode. Like he's like the
I
quips are
appreciate
gone.
how Shrinking Ray killed one of the
Oh,
one
dude,
of
yeah, that shit
the
was brutal.
henchmen. Pulled a joke Thanos, but like this time what would actually work when going into his eyeball and then expanding. Which I'm surprised we didn't get a full like just fountain of blood explosion. Like I'm pretty like it was just a.
Well, she didn't actually expand because she came out the same size.
Yeah, she came out the
just
same
went
size.
in and just tore up his fucking
Oh my
brain.
god, she pulled a fucking identity crisis. Just basically punched up his brain in the inside. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the thing. She tried to do the joke Thanos thing to the actual strong guy, and it didn't fucking work.
Yeah, because
Thankfully-
as we learned from Guardians of the Galaxy, if you're tough on the outside, you'd be tough on the inside too.
Yeah. and-
Certain, yeah.
Shush!
Yeah, it
Shush! I was
depends.
making a reference.
when there's a difference in strength, yes, it does matter. But
Oh yeah.
and the thing is, I do appreciate that she does survive because fuck yeah, it's like the Guardians of Gahul are already fucking up, and yeah. Like, it's like I said, it's a rough all the way around, and yeah, so cut back to the away team, and there's a bit of Immortal trying to do the thing we're not trusting Mark, but in the moment he does trust Mark, and I really appreciate that.
As we forgot to mention, like when they made it got overshadowed by the shields joke. The shuttle did get destroyed, but Adam Eve formed a protective bubble that then phased through the ship itself for a
All
moment.
flyers, push forward. I like that. Like flying go.
And
Which shows Mark is it seems like Mark's a pretty good like shot caller and leader. It's weird.
yeah,
how
he's
that doesn't happen.
he's a decent leader. I wonder if that'll play out later.
Put a pin in
But
that
it's
one,
also
don't
like
worry.
a confidence thing. He's like, he's now a lot more self-assured that he is faster, he is stronger. That is never a call he would have made for himself, even if he felt it was true in the past.
Yeah, this is very different from season 1 and even a good chunk of season 2. Like, Thraxum has actually kind of changed him a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a bit, quite a lot. Because, yeah, actually, the more I think about it, how much Thraxum has changed him because of, like, say, with, like, Oliver, he's taken a lot more responsibility.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm. And like, yeah,
also, so the solution is that Robot is basically taking apart his suit so that he can create this sonic generator grenade thing, and that's when we Mark he's like, I'm faster and stronger.
Let me know this. Let me do it. And
Yeah,
like, there's the moment where like Immortal wants and that's the hesitation. There's a moment where Immortal wants to say anything, but he goes, like, don't fail.
That's
really,
why.
It's a really touching like moment of like him being really vulnerable.
Yeah, because in the beginning of season 2, Immortal is floating above a light post, and he said like, Cecil trusts you. I do not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be keeping an eye on you. And then that's where we get the "How dare you!"
How dare you?
How dare you
And
poop on
so
my
yeah,
lawn?
there's a moment where like they do break out the original guy, but Adam Eve and
and Rudy.
Rudy are vulnerable to it. Also, forgot to mention real quick, even though he's been kind of a jokester and a little shitter, Makeshift does fucking pull some weight here, and it's really impressive. Even though he's not as strong as other people, as he self admits, but he does try his best to make things right.
Yeah, when he forms that bubble.
He's like, I'm not as strong as her, but I could do this, and he basically puts his life in danger to protect the two humans. It's really cute, and yeah, Rudy and Adam Eve get captured for a moment, but once again, Invincible and Immortal working together bring them back.
They were lucky that thing still had a bit of a charge left.
Yeah.
It's juices, right?
But at the very least, when we showed that the second time, it's like very, very little.
Yeah, and they basically have to put them right next to each other, which is something that they deliberately do. But so a lot of people agree that the Mars episode in the first season is not that strong. However, I do appreciate the callback to so what's going to happen to him? He's going to be executed. I understand. Go 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 go!
Yeah. Yeah, like don't these ships have weapons? I don't know. I was in one when I was a kid. It was a school trip.
Like, it's just like a whole like chaotic like thing, but like at the same time, it's good character moments because like, yeah, it's Mark not wanting to leave somebody behind like that. It's fucked up, especially somebody who risked their life for him. So yeah, it's like all this stuff in the heat of the moment, and then Wyatt's favorite moment. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to explain this moment to make a comparison once again to the MCU. You guys remember a movie called Captain Marvel?
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, it sounds familiar. I mean, it sounds really good, actually.
There's a moment where we know where basically the weapons of a bunch of spaceships can't really hurt her, and the people piloting those spaceships, due to the implications, have possibly been just as much lied to as she has. But she's just flying right through them and just killing them, and then she destroys a whole capital ship. Mark does something in the sense that he goes out and disables the ships, but he's not killing a single person. He is just simply flying through them and making, like, at one point he just goes through somebody's windshield going like, sorry, and he makes sure that they're not being chased. Because that's, like, in all reality, that's kind of one of the interesting things about superhero comics. They have all these godlike powers, and they choose to not, like, kill under specific circumstances, because even though they have the power to, that doesn't give them the right. And in this case with Mark, these people are just doing their jobs, and he is choosing to save, like, somebody that, yeah, has caused more trouble than he did some good as well, but he's caused a lot of trouble.
He put the world in danger, but he did do his best to try to make up for it.
And Mark doesn't, like, he's a very gentle soul in that regards. So he's
Yeah,
like, no,
and-
we're keeping him. This is our pet. We're keeping him.
This is our
Well,
Martian. Get your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that it's interesting that we point that out. It's almost like there's something about redemption and Mark wanting to see the best in people.
Yeah, as Cecil
Well,
said,
but
this is your redemption tour.
Well, not just that, but he did see redemption and potentially putting in a makeshift.
Exactly. And
Like it's
that's-
almost as if somebody else who did something really horrific and there's a chance for them to come back. We'll get to that. Put a pin in that. We'll get to
like
that
if
season
you
3.
like if you have the power for like if you have that power to basically go through a spaceship, you could destroy everything. But this guy is he's gonna die, and he possibly has a family. Why would you do that? Just go through it, and then he'll be picked up. Hopefully,
If you have the power to, you shouldn't go for the easiest option. You should go for the option that makes it most heroic, which is saving the most lives. And they do deliberately show that the Martians that he does basically shipwreck are still alive.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that so much because. Like, cause as visually entertaining as like that Captain Marvel scene is, she is doing something horrible. She is, like, I don't want to say she's borderline the villain, but the Kree have been lied to as much as she has, and she's killing them.
No. She's a strong woman.
Strong woman. What are you talking about? I don't
Of
understand what you're
course.
talking about.
Strong
'Cause-
woman.
Because again, when you have godlike powers, why would you, like, you have the power to do something that involves the least amount of loss of life. Do that.
Yeah, we're circling now. But yeah, that's the thing is that like Mark does a very good job of not harming them. It's really well done.
It's nice
It's
seeing
really- it's really
superheroes be
incredible.
superheroes.
And like I said, it is like borderline Saturday cartoonish how it's like handled, and I kind of appreciate that because to be juxtaposed about what happened to the home team, like it does this great moment of like, look, we're doing it, we did the thing, we saved the Earth. Meanwhile, there was just this guy who had like nukes to America, and like, yeah, he wipes out half the fucking like squad like unceremoniously.
when they come back and like Immortal is holding her costume and we just see the body bags.
You see a whole morgue full of bodies, and it's like,
Those
God
are just her.
damn, dude. Like, yeah. And the deliberate showing that it's a poorly lit room too. Like there's a lot of little subtle things, and then it's just
And-
all come together.
And
makes
as
it,
I
like, a good
mentioned,
moment.
like as a brief little aside, like Duplicate, like as we heard, like the fear in her voice, she's desperately trying to create clones, and when I say she died hard, she fucking created another clone of herself. The guy grabbed them and then slammed them together.
Yes.
It was brutal. Their face, like both their skulls, were completely crushed.
Almost fused together in a fucking horrible way.
Yeah. He basically reversed her power.
Ugh.
You like it's like these two
It makes-
these two things must till all are one.
Duplicate and
Oh,
Duplicate's death and Shrinking Ray's like not fake out, but her potential death at that moment, they're very dark, they're very serious because it is a life and death situation. It is playing it how it should.
oh fuck.
Speaking of playing how it should, the way Claus Bitch versus Rex, right? That scene is he's backing up and he's throwing projectile attacks and she's dodging them. When have you ever actually seen that interaction between two characters where one of the shots actually connects and wins the fight? Because these are all side characters. This is just going to play out how it plays out. You get the feeling that this fight could have gone any fucking way. None of
Yeah.
them were safe. And Ray only survived because Chungus Lizard was dead.
Exactly. Like given a few more moments, yeah, she could have been completely digested.
Well, not even digested. She just wouldn't have been able to break out if he was able to resist and contract his muscles. He was dead, so she could crawl out of him.
Well, that and also she did get eaten. Like even with the contraction, all that kind of stuff. There's a good possibility. Like yeah, she would.
She would have died before digestion was really a
Yeah,
problem.
when she pops out, there's a very deliberate thing of her like taking a deep breath. She was suffocating.
She was rasping for a good moment there.
What she should have done, she should have
Asphyxiation
gone to
takes
his
less time
lungs
than
and
digestion.
then breathed through his own lungs.
Yeah. Oh shit, you're right.
Oh,
There was one thing we forgot to mention about the end of episode 5, which was like this horrible, terrible fucking thing of like, oh no, like everybody's dying and like Earth's in danger. There is this nice little like hopeful thing where we see Alan the alien.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
but before we talk about Alan, there is a.
Oh, you mean Alan Ball Z?
We do need to talk about how there is an important note we've been talking about, and also the reason of this thumbnail is
We'll get to that.
well,
but-
no, that's the conclusion for the moment. Like them talking in that shuttle, that's the conclusion for right now of that story of what we've seen.
Yeah, but Alan gets the Zenkai boost, which I didn't want to point out what it was, but he's basically Doomsday.
Oh, you can keep killing him. He's just gonna come back stronger.
Basically, that he's a very fucked up experiment, which I don't know if they go into later, but the idea is that he's this he's literally quote unquote built different. But yeah, it's Doomsday, but instead of a monster like mindless monster, it's our lovable idiot Alan.
So, when it comes to there's been very much a conversation when it comes to Rudy and Monster Girl's interactions. Rudy is
so we're gonna just keep skipping it. He's not engaged with the scene I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, we're
oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot there was. I forgot there. I
more
forgot
to
there
that
was
scene.
more to that. Yes.
No,
That was. Sorry. That was memory lapse for a moment. Yes, we are revealed that Optimus Prime is indeed Optimus Prime.
The leader of the coalition, which is the direct superpower against the Viltrumite Empire, is led by Viltrumite.
Yes, and we made a slight joke of when he rips his beard off. It's like he's just got a abrasion on his skin. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Also, Slayer
Also,
pointed out-
why did he goes, I too am a super sand lesbian, and then he rips off his beard, and the ripping off of the beard and leaving behind the mustache, that for some reason is the prompt for Alan to go, oh my god, you're a Viltrumite.
For some
Not
reason,
just another strong humanoid looking alien race that just ripped off his own beard for some reason.
that just also
Is
has
that a
a
Viltrumite
mustache.
thing that he knows about and we don't?
Apparently,
Yeah, that's
the mustaches are just a Viltrumite thing,
The Viltrumites.
But other species have mustaches.
but they don't have
We know
that
this because
particular
Alan talks about
mustache.
Yeah, I really don't like the fact that that's what it is, because it's obviously not that. It's like I don't even know. Fuck it. No, I can't even assume that it's something else, because that is the direct implication. Is him not having a beard and only having a mustache means Viltrumite. It's like, what? How are we supposed to figure that out?
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure from Viltrumites that we don't know if we'll see later on, I'm pretty sure they have beards.
Well, the next big one doesn't, and then the big one after that doesn't as well. But
Yeah, mustaches are like fairly common, but like they're not. Mustache doesn't equal Viltrumite, because remember
yeah, it
Alan
doesn't.
berates fucking Immortal because he doesn't have the best part of a beard, the mustache part. So mustaches are like fairly
Don't worry
common,
about it. We'll
understood, and
I mean, to be fair, mustaches are like you gotta if you're gonna grow facial hair, complete the whole set. Like if
and
you
it is fun. It is funny the first time we see Alan, he is actually remarking on Mark's non-existence of facial hair, because he thinks he's invincible. He thinks he's Omni-Man. He goes, "Hey, you shaved your mustache," which is weird because fuck. Now the reveal of Thaddeus actually makes that scene worse, because it's like, oh, he should have known he was a Viltrumite because he had the mustache.
Oh my god, that's so fucking stupid.
Oh, it's over
I don't-
here.
I don't like that.
It's fucking stupid.
Jake, did you
So
get
yeah.
lost too?
He got lost. It's
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it.
How come the teleport didn't grab you?
Yeah, so I did teleport, but I teleported to like the room that was like 5 feet away from me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He'll be done.
you might just get left behind.
He's not going to get left behind. That's only survival missions. So yeah, Thrag then says, "Bring Invincible here because he might be
You
the key.
just you
He
ju-
might be the key to all of this."
you just dropped the wrong name. It's Theoda. It's Theoda,
Did-
not Thrag.
I'm
Thrag by
I'm
Crag,
sorry.
voiced by Clancy Brown, decides to go.
You mean
Alan the
Krieg.
Alien.
You mean Krieg?
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry,
they all
I don't
look
know.
the
I
same.
don't.
It's
I
the
don't.
mustaches,
sorry,
okay?
sorry. I
They're-
don't know. I don't know who Thrag is. That's weird. I would never say that name. That's bizarre.
Yeah,
what the
he
fuck
just
am I talking about? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
you're just making up names now, man.
Man, look,
You're-
dude. Sorry, it's like almost as if like my vocabulary has like a conquest trying to take over me. You know, it's fucking weird.
Ah!
And you're another Essa.
God, that was
Please,
worse than mine.
please stop.
Go kill him.
Please,
Stop
all of you commit seppuku, including you, Slur. You know what? You take some of their sins and take them into the afterlife. It's your
He's
fault.
not
they're
Sudoku
here.
yourself, Gaylord.
I've already tried. The blade bounces off.
Yeah, it blends off
Well,
because he's a fucking Superman.
Well, why?
Because I have
he's too Irish.
because I have a mustache. Because I'm clearly a Belgian.
Yeah, so I really don't like I don't like that thing because the rest of the scene's great, but yeah, that bit is really stupid.
Wait a second. Puts my finger over under Max's nose. Wait a minute. Are you a Belcherman?
Oh no. Anyway,
You got a mustache. I know.
so we get base. Wait, hang on, let me see. Let's skip anything over. Yeah, we get the Art and Eve scene, which there is an interesting thing. Did you guys remember what Art was doing before Mark walked in?
Making a costume.
What color was the costume?
Orange.
Interesting. Anyway, and he's like, "You asshole! Wait, I'll get it to you when I get it to you." There's interesting dialogue there that might come back later. Oh, and fuck! Oh my god, we get the return of what's his name? Rick. We get the return of Rick as well, the Cyberman from season 1. He doesn't seem to be doing well.
Well, he is.
Oh
you
my
know,
God, you're
kind of
right.
A robot now, and it's mainly because the way he became cyborged was like pieces of his brain were fucking removed.
Yeah, he
so
didn't get
he's,
cyborged. He got servitored for a moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that he used the power of pride.
You
He
are
used the
certain.
power of pride to bust through.
Use the power of the gay.
Happy Cyborg Month, everybody.
Happy Cyber
Oh,
Month, everybody.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, he's not dealing with it well. Like I said, it's weird. It's a theme going through the entire series. But yeah, we get the return of Rick, which is really sweet because it's I don't know. Like I feel like that was something that like because it is indicative of how like Will and Mark's relationship got really messed up. Is because like Mark was kind of being
That's
a
the whole
dickhead.
reason he
Yeah,
goes
Mark was being-
to Thraxum.
It also continues the spirit of the whole season, which is, hey, in season 1, a lot of people's lives got pretty fucked up, and they're
Horrifically
still
right.
around, and like the fallout of that is something that just kind of needs to be
Oh
confronted.
yeah, it's still another moment of redemption.
Well, I don't know if you could call Rick's story redemption just yet, but
Rehabilitation.
yeah,
Well,
it comes back later. We'll put a pin in that. But
Well, yeah, because as we also got that moment with Donald's, like I'm here to continue his transition.
yeah.
I'm here to fuck bitches and take names.
Hey, that's what Bobby Hill would say.
He goes, and I'm all out of bitches and
here.
names.
I'm all out of bitches, Dad.
That's
no-
my cyborg body. I don't know you.
That's my Cecil. I don't know you.
But say so.
But Cecil.
So, man, fuck me. A lot of shit happens in the
Mr.
next 2 episodes. That's the
Mr.
craziest part about going back to this. It's like there is a lot of shit that's about to go down. Fucking
Yeah,
next
this-
It is very
2 hours.
dense.
I don't
Um,
regret having these in bursts of 3, even though like
Yeah.
because if we were doing these in bursts of 2, I don't want to say we wouldn't have anything to talk about for episode 1 and 2. We
Definitely
would.
not.
It's just we wouldn't have as much. When meanwhile we can like for a good bit we can with the cliffhanger of episode 3, seeing Nolan again. It's like get hype.
And so yeah, Meanwhile, so we have the discussion between Art and Art talking to Mark, and Eve
Eve
talking to
talking to
Amber.
Amber.
Which before that, there is even a little bit where Cecil comes in to talk to her, and I feel like it's one of these another like little human moments that Cecil does that like it's just so quick and subtle. He's like, I like your treehouse here. Reminds me of where I grew up. And he doesn't elaborate. Nothing's asked about it. He just brings that up. It's just this little bit of
And
like humanity showing through this like character
and
who's supposed to be cold.
yeah, and Cecil doing like what he always does, where it's like, I wanted to thank you, and I want to also get you back
Also,
on the team.
by the way, I need you to please, can you please save the world? Because like, we're not doing great.
And and he doesn't say
We're
like
not
he doesn't say it like I'll be around, like come, you know where to find me. Not if, when you change your mind.
Yeah, he does a little bit of the guilt tripping, and then he lays it on thick with just like, yeah, you're gonna do it
You're gonna do
eventually.
it, dog. We don't. We are lacking in the hero department at the moment. It's like
It's almost as if people
it's,
keep killing our heroes.
I know it's fucking crazy, you guys. We're about to deal with an alien invasion. Could y'all like just knock it off?
Stop
For a
fucking dying.
Make me.
Make me proceeds to die, and blood gets splashed on the title card, and Invincible pops up on screen.
You die because you are killed. I die because I Sudoku. We are not the
What
same.
the same.
I am dead because I needed to kill the demons. But John, you
I
are
must-
a demon.
I must go. My afterlife needs me.
And then John was a demon.
So there is a thing about like voice actors not being present and shit like that, and J.K. Simmons is fantastic, and we wish we could see more of Omni-Man. But there is a bit of presence being on the screen with him being there, with Mark looking at the books that he was told to look into.
Mhm.
Those books wind up sounding oddly real to him.
Okay, yeah, we can finally get to that
Yeah.
noteworthy thing. So,
Mhm.
well, actually, before we do that, we like in this case we forgot the monster girl and Rudy thing.
Oh shit, you're right. My bad.
There
I
was
forgot about
an arc going on of with them going on the first date. Rudy liking Monster Girl is being a bit controlling, essentially, because
Well,
during
he's being controlling is the sort of like unfortunate side effect of him genuinely trying to be there for her and do the right thing, and something that he knows she does want, which is for to not suffer the side effects of her curse. Like that is a
Yes.
thing that she wants.
yeah, and
But like he doesn't know how to navigate that. He can only think in terms of problems and solutions.
yeah, that's
not
why
in terms of
Please be
that's why
patient. I have autism.
that's why we have the thumbnail. Yes, Rudy is very
Yeah.
autistic, and to the point that it culminates as far as right now, uh, in in him saying like, "Oh yeah, I controlled my emotions. We can fix the problem. We could do the same for your curse." And she's just like, "Stop."
Yeah. And the thing is, like, even though you can tell he doesn't really get it, when she says stop and leave it alone, he does. But
Yeah.
he also doesn't really understand. So he knows that the proper thing to do is to back the fuck up. But at the same time, he's still, it's gonna come up again because as far as he's concerned, like, this is still there. So he's not really gonna let it go.
Ow, ow, ow.
Bumping into everything.
Yes, I don't do Arcwing missions. I hate them.
I love the Archwing.
Stop calling it the Archway.
Is the word arch in it?
Okay, but ACH can also have an
I know.
ACK sound.
I'm also being a shitter.
I don't. Well, stop it. Get some help.
No.
Stop shitting in your Archwing. It does not have a bathroom.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
it's just going into space. And with as we all know, with Newton's first law, that shit will eventually, like, it could in 10,000 years, some spaceship could be flying, and then shit will hit their windshield.
It might take considerably longer than that, if ever. But yeah, sure.
It's a Mass Effect reference. The
Well, I mean,
What, shit hitting the windshield?
No, it might hit the you might hit the ship, you might hit the planet below it. It might in 10,000 years hit something else. You're going to ruin someone's day.
When you pull that number 2, you are ruining someone's day somewhere at some time.
Now, rookie.
That is why you put on your targeting diapers, and that is why you use the bathroom before a mission. You are not some cowboy shitting in a hole.
Shitting in an outhouse.
That's how you pull it back. Fuck. Okay, so I had to go pee, and now I'm lost.
Yeah. Congratulations. Now that pee is gonna hit someone in 10,000 years.
That pee is gonna hit someone in 10,000 years.
It is gonna make someone's day.
It's gonna make someone's day.
Oh,
It's gonna make
listen
someone's
well, yeah. Like what if they like being pissed on?
Then they should go to jail. Not even to jail. To hell.
They
Like
should
you don't go to
prison.
jail.
You like getting peed on directly to the gulag.
Like, how do you screen for that? You just have the police going around pissing on people and then lock up anyone who smiles.
You know that bit from South Park where he's like peeing on the monkey and gets really pissed? He's like, he's going feral on this shit.
No, I like
Like
the
it's
idea.
almost as if he's getting pissed because he's getting pissed on.
No, I like the
Oh my
idea.
God.
Somebody like a cop's just pissing on a guy. The guy just looks up as he's being pissed on and smiles. All right, get him out of here. Get
him
this
outta
freak
here.
out of here.
You wanna go to jail or you wanna get pissed on?
I want to keep getting pissed on. Nope. Take him away.
Take him away. That was a trick question. It was training day.
So with that culmination of that arc, I really appreciate that.
There's also something I want to point out that like it's also another subtle thing, is that there's a moment where Eve tells Robot, "You're not the only one who can make a suit," and the camera goes back to the Robot. He goes, as if like, put a pin in that. I'm gonna think about something like that.
So with let's see. So with all of them dealing with the deaths of a lot of fucking heroes at the moment, Alan the alien comes back by Earth.
Mark decides to read a book.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
we
starts
get
to
some
read.
wonderful narration, and Slur, you do have a note about this.
I do?
I thought you said you made a note about it.
Well, I have a note that's like after the conversation because it's about the motive of writing them in the first place.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we can
Because
talk
the
about
time
that.
period of like when these books would have been written is when Nolan was still loyal. So it was when Mark was first born. He knew that the Viltrumite thing of like he came to the planet, he was chilling out, he was kind of like I don't know, taking a breather, I guess. I don't
Well, hang on.
he got himself a pet.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
God himself.
Well, I got a rebuttal to it. Actually, it's something interesting to think about. And
Hold
it's
on,
all
I gotta
back
take
to
a
But
Susan.
we can't get into spoilers, remember. So
No, I'm not
what
going to
we
get into
understand
spoilers.
his mission to be.
I'm not going to be getting into spoilers. Because what did Art say about when Nolan wrote those books?
Mark was a kid.
Mark was a kid. Do you also remember when the first time that Nolan actually saw Mark as like his son was when he was a kid at the baseball game?
Yeah. So
He's a dick at the beginning of that baseball game. He's like, "Why I should be up above the book. I should be doing something else. Why am I here? This is a waste of time." And it's in that moment where he realizes that he's living for his son.
So those sci-fi stories were for him.
Possibly. See, this is kind of like the thing. I have a couple ideas about the motive, and all of it is just fucking, sussing it out. One of them is he was toying with a way of introducing Mark to, the wider cosmos. If he wrote a bunch of sci-fi stories and his kid grew up in those stories, it's easier for him to like burst the bubble of his reality and say, hey, all that shit's kind of real actually, than it is to just go from not to, by the way, space.
I do.
That's one thing.
I can dig that. I see what you're saying.
All right, I'm back.
Another thing is maybe it was just genuine. Maybe writing and just telling stories was a way that he killed time on Earth and just, he just wanted to tell stories. And all of the things he encountered that gave him some difficulty made the best stories. And now that he was being taken away to prison, this was never actually the plan, but he thought of it. Hey, I wrote down some very useful shit. Mark, read my books.
You
Maybe.
get them on Amazon for $19.95.
So yeah, we don't actually know one way or the other what the motive behind it was, but I do think it could go like a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
I don't think at that point he was actively trying to document weaknesses in the Viltrumite Empire.
Yeah, I don't
Even
think so either.
seeing Marx as kid. It just doesn't track.
Yeah, because
I
and if that was the
would-
case, if
I'd agree with you that it's weak, but I still think there is an argument to be made about that. But I actually do like your explanation better, though, Slar.
yeah, because then it creates this not this issue. It just gives you a pause for thought of like, while he was committed to his mission, like, if these truly did have like documented weaknesses of the Viltrumites, once he's in like go time for the plan, wouldn't he have destroyed them? But I doubt
then,
he even
even then
remembered
going.
them. Well,
I
actually,
say,
no.
Well, even you say go time for the plan. The plan was supposed to happen a while ago.
Yeah, like Mark, if I remember correctly, in season 1, Nolan says like his powers were supposed to kick in when he was like what,
It was supposed
when he was 6.
Yeah, so remember, we kind of talked about this when we were talking about season 1, where Nolan thought that he would find out one way or the other about Mark's Viltrumite heritage much earlier. And so when his powers did kick in, Nolan did not look happy about it. Because at that point, Nolan had decided, okay, plan B. I'll just live out the lifespan of my
I got it.
human kid and
Clutch.
wife, and then we'll all just
Yeah.
fucking go back to square one. I'll conquer it.
So
That's the plan.
On a side tangent, if anyone looks back at this recording, you'll see how I just clutched that by just doing what I always do, brute forced it. I
No,
I
but
fucking
Wyatt, you don't. I don't think you realized that you did it on the last second.
I
You
bul-
did- you did
I
it-
bullet
it was
jumped.
literally- I was like, oh, we're gonna fail this one because it said 1 second left. And I was like, okay.
I bullet jumped so hard at the fucking at the push wiring that I had no choice but to go through.
Another
I
reason for
pulled
DOS.
what's known as a big gamer move, also known as clipping so hard you have no choice but to go the direction you wanted to go.
So I should play Goss. Goss, when he dashes, he can go through the alarms without triggering them. Anyway, yeah.
Just need more
So
Warframe spaces in general. I've got like 3 in the oven.
yeah, the books wind up being a thing, and they come to the help of somebody who's coming, and that's when Immortal and Cecil are having an argument where like Immortal is just not.
He's
doing
at
well.
he's at his Hall of Justice under Mount Rushmore fucking computer base, typing away at things, and Cecil just goes, "No, you're taking on a vacation. Your head's not all the way there."
Yeah.
To be fair, he's 100% right, but
Because him fighting Alan was not Cecil didn't tell him to do that. He thought he was Omni-Man and just went up there to kick some ass.
Yeah.
and like as soon as he saw you alien, you alien, Omni-Man alien, you bad, die. like, it's
To-
like, wait a minute.
Racist.
To be
Yes.
fair, what do we expect from Abe Lincoln?
It's true.
That is true. Yeah.
It's
You're
true.
different. You're different from me. How dare you?
You're different from me. You be free.
Wait, was the Immortal actually Abe Lincoln?
Yes.
Yes, in season 1, it shows a montage of all the lives.
Okay, I don't remember that montage.
There will be
Yeah.
a top hat shown later.
He's he, as we said from the last recording, he is basically Vandal Savage, but good.
Yeah, good guy, Vandal Savage.
Yeah, but I didn't know that he was actually in Link because again, it's
Yeah,
been a hot
no,
minute
it's
since I've seen
it's
season
fair.
one.
It shows the various lives he was, and yeah, he was good old Abe, and he brings up like he's during Duplicate's funeral that he was crying. He's like, I've loved many people. Like, why does this one hurt as much? Like, why does this hurt more?
Because it was real.
I was trying not to make that joke. Like, why does it? Because it was real.
Oh, shit, we need chill out sprays.
A lot of the women he had in his life, the love would have been real. It's just the way that he connected to her was very.
No, we were
unique.
making a Hobbit joke.
Well, no, yeah, but it's still the sentiment is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate that how they do that. I'll get run over.
So I appreciate a lot of this, and also we found out that Alan's little telepathy implant thing does not allow three-way conversations.
Yeah, it's also revealed that it's an implant thing, not actually something that is like,
That he does naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not actually telepathic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we just ran those people. Alright.
Well, no, I airbursted them. Don't worry about it. I got a shotgun and a launcher.
Don't make me insert that Austin Powers clip.
God damn it! Why do I keep getting knocked off?
I will do it, so help me God. So we find out that it's an implant. He's not naturally a telepath, and he basically keeps fucking with immortals like I am the king of space.
And you should be very nice to me.
And you're missing the best part of a beard, which is this.
No, sorry, Alan didn't say that. Mark said that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Alan's basically throwing Mark under the bus.
So, he also says on the thing he's spice. You should be nice. I don't fight. So there's the so there's a couple things that I really appreciate because they were set up in season 1, but like it's just an ongoing joke. But there is the bit where it's like you have those on Earth, right? Like it's becoming the thing where it's just Unopens might just be 1-to-1 human like Earthlings. Because usually when somebody puts a sock on the door on my planet, that means someone's fucking. Yeah.
Well, this is something else I've actually made a note of. Alan's got like this sort of like Marvel-ish style of sense of humor.
But it's
in a
weird.
small dose, so it's manageable.
Yeah.
Like it's not the style of humor of the whole show; it's the style of humor of this character. So
I think you hit the.
Endearing to it.
I think you hit the nail on the head because originally I was finding Alan a bit annoying, especially with the. Well, not even especially. It's funny how like if it ends up saving the universe, is it still a mistake? Yes. Like, and then as he's at Earth, he's like, this is the right planet, right? He's been there, like 2 times now. He still doesn't know.
Yeah, but like the last couple times, there wouldn't have really been a conversation. He would have turned up, said, "I'm here to fight." Omni-Man threw hands. He's like, "All right, understandable. Have a nice day."
Except if he knew he was a mustache, then like you would know he's an Ultramite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We know.
Like it's a. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, these Y.A.R.P people kind of look like Viltrumites. That's weird.
Wait a minute.
Why are they so squishy?
I'm just now thinking back. The pure Viltrumite men that would form at least the ones we've seen all have mustaches.
That's apparently mustaches just are a thing for Viltrumite men. Meaning when Mark finally gets his mustache, it's gonna be a fat one.
And I just picture the baby with a thick ass mustache, like a fucking looking like a purple Mexican.
Yeah, just fucking Oliver, he like, I don't know, he's like 5 years old in Thraxa years, and it's
not even 5 years old. Oh, not even 5 years old. I'm talking about still baby with mustache.
Is it like, and instead of going mama, he goes mother.
Slur, could you Photoshop the mustache on a baby?
No.
Oh.
Well, he can. He just refuses to.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a fucking image generator.
You're not?
Not always.
I don't know if I believe you. Yeah, and we get a couple setups for future stuff. Homeboy astronaut finally getting home, which, by the way, a really horrific thing. Like, I would just want to go home and go to bed. They didn't let me sleep. It's like,
Sequids never sleep.
Oh
like
my
God. That little line's like, man, that motherfucker went through hell.
I am surprised during his various medical exams, however, that second one wasn't detected.
Oh, well, you could, like I said, we can't really know because it might have just been like an egg or something. They probably could have just said anything to it. But
also, they can change their fucking shape and form, so it probably disguise itself as just like scar tissue.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When he gets home and he's cleaning up and he sees something really nasty, he goes, "Oh, I got a puke. You puke, puke, puke." and then he accidentally pukes up another Secwood. It launches onto his face, and he's possessed again. And it's like, dude, that guy's life sucks.
Yeah.
It's like
It really
Okay.
sucks to
When
be
we
him.
got their explanation in season 1, did it explain how fast they reproduce, or
It
if
is
they
never
reproduce
explained.
asexually?
All we know is that it's fast.
Oh, well, it's never explained, and it's not really fast. We just know there's a lot of them. However, I'm curious how this is going to be handled because there's not a lot on Earth. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
But
I'm curious, like, since it just seems to be the one, like, how, like, what will happen.
I guess we'll see. Because the other setup we have, because that's not resolved in this season. However, the other setup we have is Angstrom Levy going to visit a friend of his.
And we see multiple different universes. One of them probably, like, it's just zombies, but I would assume, because Robert Kirkman, it's probably The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it is a reference to The Walking Dead. I don't think any characters show up, but there is this little Asian kid who shows up in Invincible. But
Well, I was about to say, I was about to say, thank God there's no baseball bats, and it's like, there clearly are.
we'll say, I don't know, man. Invincible does look like his voice actor in a certain episode a couple of times. Also, who pissed off the Ospreys?
Oh, that'd be me.
Could you not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
No.
That's how that scene resolved. We never saw the end of it, but yeah. Mortal said no, and he's like, "Oh man, really? Damn."
Oh,
jeez.
he tips his headpiece and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Understandable. Have a nice day," and then
Basically.
proceeds to just, I guess, go home.
Yep.
To his loving skeleton wife and skeleton daughter. They made macaroni.
What was his name?
No cheese, just
What's-
like
what was his
plain
fucking
elbow
name? Was it-
noodles in a fucking bowl.
They
Was it-
truly are fucking psychopaths then.
Was it Omnibus? What was his fucking name? I forgot his fucking
Oh,
name.
Oxymoso or something.
Oh, I just called him
Omnipidus. That's what his name was.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just
I'm
saw
good with it.
the skeleton face, and that's why I was like, I immediately said Skeletor. Because I'm just that fucking vapid.
Speaking of Vapid, I believe that really covers it for the next 3 episodes. Because boy, howdy,
Boy, am I
we got some
excited.
stuff. We got some stuff to fucking resolve in the next 2 episodes. And it's crazy that, like I said, it's like, oh Max, why are you doing 3 and then only 2? It's like, well, the last 2 episodes, a lot happens.
Well, it was
You know,
unfortunate. It was a timing thing. Like we thought 3, and then it's like, right, there's only 8 episodes, but it has worked out in our favor.
No, I figured the last 2 episodes could be fine by themselves because of what happens. But
Yeah,
we'll get there when we get there.
the similar pacing to season 1. The like you get most of the episode, which really builds the relationships and the character shit, and then towards the end, especially like the fucking finale, or even the penultimate episode, it's all hands.
Yeah, and for the most part, that's normally how we've covered stuff. I think ever since Arcane, we normally tackle it in groups of 3.
So yeah, Sawyer, do you got any other notes that you want to cover?
No, we covered all of my ones.
So we got those launch spots, too.
Not thinking. I'm trying to think of any criticisms.
You brought up the animation. There is going to be a joke
Okay,
about that in the next
okay.
episode, which I
So
find hilarious.
I'm just gonna point this out. So, you guys remember the episode of The Simpsons where they introduced the character Poochie to Itchy and Scratchy, and he
No,
go
No.
no, it's not like we've just been referencing it the entire time.
and
You can handle more of the enemy.
I must go. My planet needs me, and it just looks like somebody took Photoshop and just grabbed him and just.
But yeah,
as-
literally the frame of, or there was the cell.
Yeah, it
Which
just
other-
just went away. And so when Immortal is just heading down to back to Earth, it looks like somebody just took his that individual frame of Immortal and just went, all right, pan down and to the right, because he doesn't get smaller as he's going away.
He does get smaller.
I'll look at it again. He might.
I just pulled it up.
Okay,
gets
so he
smaller.
does actually get smaller. Okay, but there's no indication of motion or any of that kind of stuff because he doesn't have
Well, I
anything on his
mean-
costume that would. That's normally where like capes come in. But but he does just look like he was just moved in
Well, he does turn around and then move deliberately, like without like purpose. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like Okay, the one that we pointed out in the first season was really stupid. It was Amber and Mark making out. That one was weird because they just went straight down. Like that one was really
Yeah.
funny looking. This one, however, I feel like this is a little bit less because of because the theme, the tone of like what's going on with that character. It
See,
seems
that
like monotone and like pointless because that's kind of what the character is dealing with.
No, yeah, I understand. It just tickled me in a funny way. So with that, that's all I got about these episodes. I liked
Jake, what
a
do you
lot of
think?
the arcs we went that we went on so far.
I thought these ones were really really good.
Okay.
We definitely had more to say about these than the last episode because we're going on 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because there's more shit happening. That's
Exactly.
The thing.
That episode
I have
4
a feeling.
has.
I have a feeling that the one with 2 episodes will have a lot more to say.
So this is gonna sound strange, but I feel like especially with these episodes, like they're like 40 to 50 minutes. It feels like there's 40 to 50 minutes worth of content in here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
No,
a lot
don't
of
you
shows.
understand? If your review is longer than the thing itself, it's a bad review.
Hell yeah.
I was just
That's
referring to
true.
other shows that have like 40 to 50 minutes
I
worth
know.
of. Okay.
So with that,
Please be patient. I have autism.
Please be patient.
by this point, you don't actually have the hat on. It's just tattooed onto your forehead.
Exactly. So please be patient. I have autism.
Thank you all so much for coming here for this episode, and we'll see you all next week. Hopefully, the current project for me right now is editing the Outer Wilds stuff again, and we'll see you all there. Bye bye.
Rawr.